Get a helmet, Nacho?
$20.
If you put that on a scale...
Is that right?
Yeah, they're $20.
They're $20?
$20. I think they're meant to be shared, but as you may guess,
I've never
many of the
once-
patrons
No.
I've never
take that
once seen
solo.
Patrons. Jackson just called the Nacho helmet purchaser a patron.
So if you get a special ticket where the Cardinals will have like $6 tickets sometimes,
Sure.
there's a chance you spend 3 times more on your nachos than your Cardinal ticket.
Oh, yeah, I bet that happens all the time.
I've never seen a family of 4 sharing a helmet nacho. It's usually a walrus person, right? Like it's
You're going to need 4 helmet nachos for a family of 4.
I saw a couple.
$80 out the door.
There was a couple in front of me that was dining on said nachos, and I guess they were splitting it, but the gentleman was certainly leaning in a little heavier, especially in the sour cream department.
Guys, Pitbull's on tour right now. He's headlining the Recplex's grand opening of their Rollerblade Rams next Thursday in St. Peter's. Thanks, that's from Calamay's Leather Falcon Glove.
Oh.
I'm gonna
Well, if you weren't
say,
listening, he's going to be at the Hollywood Casino Amphitheater. That's hardly the Recplex.
I don't know.
With Iggy.
It doesn't seem like a place where I would see Pitbull 4 or 5 years ago. That's why I asked about a career trajectory. He has enough money to where he could just retire now. And that's why I said I would just stay in Miami. It's nice weather.
I'd say one hit song is enough to retire.
Oh, yeah.
I got to meet this guy.
Sure.
Pitbull?
Yeah.
Why don't you have him on?
He may be I'll reach out.
Have him in studio.
I may, well, I mean, we have enough people in this building that are so big in music, they probably know. I'm sure Tommy probably knows somebody that's handling Pitbull. I just got to meet him. Even if I pull a timber fake and I go hang out at the hotel where he's at, just to hope he goes in a bar or to say hi to him.
Please tell me you're doing that because I will come with video.
I really want to meet the guy. As I've said, I think he's one of the coolest guys going. I'd love to meet Pitbull. I think we'd hit it off.
Oh, he'd party his ass off. I love Pitbull.
Boy, Doug, our show really is on board with Pitbull.
It sounds like it.
I don't know what I'd say.
How do you?
Studio. Hey, Pitbull. Hey, Mr. Worldwide. Hey, Mr. 305. I don't know what I'd call him.
I don't hate them. I haven't heard a song from him come out.
Hey, Pitt.
At least 5 years, at least.
Doug, remember 2006 or was it 2005?
I don't know the years, Tim.
With Pitbull and the Yin Yang Twins. Was that Shake?
I don't know who
the
Shake.
Yang Yang
Shaq. He was with
Twins.
Shaq.
But the Yin Yang Twins made that To the Windows to the Wall joint with Lil Jon.
The Yin Yang.
Was Ursher in that? Doug, was Ursher in that?
You say oyster, I
think
say oyster.
some sort of twins were in it, too.
Was it the Yin Yangs?
Let's call
It's
the
the songs that get low. It's Lil Jon, the East Side Boys. Why did I think? And featuring the Yin Yang Twins.
Nice.
Lil Jon, East Side Boys, get low.
If you Google, go to YouTube, Google Pitbull freestyling in Miami as a young rapper that nobody knew who he was. It's pretty good. I mean, I didn't rap, but there's one video where some guy kept calling him out in the audience and started holding up wads of cash. And he got up on stage and just like putting the cash in front of Pitbull's face, and he just bashed him right in the face and knocked him off the stage.
Wonderful.
Why wouldn't you take the cash?
And he just turned around and said, "I told you to stop that, S." I just went back to dancing and singing. Just punched the guy right in the face.
He knows who he is, and I think that's why I like
And
Pitbull.
what would be the significance of someone with the money? Like Pitbull's in it for the money? Aren't they all? Aren't
They're
we
for the
all
fans.
in it for the money?
Maybe it was a song he was
They're in
singing
it for
or
the
something.
fans. That's why I love the Cardinals so much.
Hey, this is Tim McKernan, and I am here with a great TMA sponsor, and that is Longo Biggs Injury Law Firm. And you may hear a bunch of out-of-state law firms advertising here and there all over on billboards and so on and so forth. But the thing is, oftentimes their goal is to just settle and move on, and that's not what you guys do.
Yeah, this is CD Longo, and you hear us talking a lot about maximizing the value of cases, but what does that actually mean? Well, as Tim said, there's lots of personal injury lawyers in St. Louis, and everyone handles cases differently. We focus on getting the highest dollar amount for your injuries, not just getting a resolution quickly. We're constantly tracking all the settlements and verdicts in the area. This helps us advise our clients on whether a settlement offer is too low. And if the amount of compensation being offered is too low, we are happy to file lawsuits and proceed to trial to ensure our clients receive an amount that is fair. Visit our website or Google us at Longo Biggs Injury Law.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisement.
Do you want to support the EDF Group as a sponsor of TMA? Well, it's real simple. Do you have a fire extinguisher where you work? The answer is yes, you certainly do. So please email the EDF Group at fire@theedfgroup.com so a technician can come out and explain to your team how the EDF Group can save your company money. Again, that email address is fire@theedfgroup.com. The EDF Group is hot and will prevent your facility from having hot fires. Experience the EDF Group difference. Learn more at theedfgroup.com.
You're hearing TMA all day on KPNT HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis, featuring the Ryan Kelly Morning After, live from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Then a full show replay from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., followed by the best of TMA from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m., and another same-day replay starting at 10 p.m. Find the full schedule at TMASTL.com. Brought to you by Ryan Kelly at thehomeloanexpert.com, the most efficient mortgage process you'll ever experience. Rise and shine, St. Louis. It's the Ryan Kelly Morning After on KPNT FM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. At the Morning After STL on YouTube and on TMASTL.com with Tim McKernan, Doug Vaughn, Iggy Strode, The Plowboy, and Action Jackson.
7:07 in St. Louis. You're listening to the Ryan Kelly Morning After from the Michelob Ultra Studios. Welcome, friends, to the Munganess St. Louis Acura, Alton Toyota. 7 o'clock hour. It is August 28th, 2023. And Doug, you are excited because for the first time in a week, we have a full dais.
We certainly do. Jackson's back with a Vegas glow about him.
He is.
Yeah. He just strutted in here with his head held high and his shoulders back as if to say, Vegas ain't the same now, boys. He shut down a lot of saloons out that way, I understand. So, yeah, I expect we'll see a new Rick now.
Jackson, your thoughts?
Glad to be back, fellas.
See, did you notice the confidence?
So much there. It's like a Goldschmidt interview. All right.
It's good. It's good to be back. Vegas was great, but it's good to be back in St. Louis. Good to be back in my little spot back here.
You made it back in time for the wedding?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's right. You had a wedding on Sattersbund?
Yep. Cousin got married. Shout out to him. Shout out to my new cousin-in-law. I don't really know what the rule is on that, but she's lovely. So, yeah, it was a great week.
I like this text. Morning, boys. Who we mad at today? That's from Zach's wife, Gummy.
Can we get mad at somebody?
Kind of sums up.
I guess Mo's got it coming.
I skipped my cousin's wedding to go to Jamaica.
Wasn't it a great niece? There's got to be a difference.
I thought it was a goddaughter.
I'm sorry. I didn't really want to go anyway.
How'd that go over with the family?
To either. Pardon me?
How did it go over with the family? When you skipped
They didn't even notice I wasn't there, I'm sure.
Oh.
Like that's my whole life in a nutshell.
No one notices if you're not there. I know the feeling.
Look at this text that was just sent, and it's Jackson in that yellow diaper, and it says the Tigers are coming. It is South Dakota week.
Oh, that it is.
God, I love college football start, man. So exciting. The heat broke, too.
Go.
I mean, great.
Irish. Beat. Midshipman.
Yeah.
And that's on the SEC network, isn't it? Saturday?
What are we talking about right
Against
now?
North Dakota?
Thursday.
So many different inaccuracies.
Oh, wait, it's on a third year.
I thought at first you're talking about Notre Dame, then you're talking about Missouri, then you're talking about the wrong date, then you're talking about the wrong Dakota. The Missouri Tigers take on the South Dakota, is it Coyotes, Doug, or is it
Coyotes?
Jackhammers?
No.
Truman down.
Truman's not down.
On Thursday at 7 p.m., and we'll be talking with South Dakota beat writers all week, both on TMA and Balloon Party.
All right. Well, my question was, is this game on the SEC network?
I would guess. I mean, we're lucky it's on any form of television.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking, put that crap game on the SEC. Nothing else going on Thursday night, I guess.
Larry Thornton, and I'm a Larry Thornton Lemming, says you guys got to play the Mizzou rules. Doug, did you see that?
No. Have they come out with Mizzou rules for cheering?
Like Rams rules.
Oh, I'd love to hear
Jackson,
them.
do you have that in the system?
I was going to cut it right at 7 o'clock, and then I had to do some other stuff.
Oh, no!
It's so easily available on Twitter.
That's how we start?
It literally will take one click, Mizzou Athletics, and it's at the top of the
Rick's still getting that Y out of his system.
Okay.
Yes,
God, I guess so.
Since last Tuesday.
The one thing we wanted. The one thing. We wanted the Mizzou rules.
It seems like everyone wants more than just one.
You didn't even know about it, Doug.
No, I didn't. It's the one thing I wanted.
It's the Munganess 7 o'clock hour. We're off to a strong start. Munganess, St. Louis Acura, and Alton Toyota. Go shopping. Text Clayton, text Jamie, text Peter, and you're talking it over with them at 314-252-0029 for new cars, for pre-owned cars, the official automotive provider of TMA and the Tim McKernan Show podcast, the presenting sponsor of Balloon Party,
And Jackson would text me during Balloon Party from Las Vegas, like, "Hey, is there anything I can do? Can I call in to give a take?"
Really?
Yeah. So he's missed it. So he'll be excited to be back in there at 10 o'clock today. It's Munganess, St. Louis Acura, and Alton Toyota, sponsor of our 7 o'clock hour. Doug, I don't know what this was about. I was tagged on a number of posts, both on the TMA fan page and also on Power Mizzou. I'm a Power Mizzou member because I am a Colonel Lemming.
Don't you love being tagged in things?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't really, impact me. Do you get tagged in a lot?
Yeah, and I have to delete them off my Facebook page.
Why do you have to delete them?
Oh, I bet.
Well, I'm tagged with like 80 people. I was like, I don't want this flooding up my thing. I got up this morning, that's the first thing I saw on my Facebook page.
Oh, Chasey Lane. God, help us all, Doug.
Now, why would she show up on your Facebook page?
It was the
She
first.
tagged you?
No, it was the first thing that popped up on my Facebook feed was that. Good way to start the morning.
I did find the Mizzou rule.
You do? Okay.
Oh, could we
Correct.
finally
So
get them?
People were, I think they posted this on Friday.
Have you watched this?
I have.
Okay, I didn't know if this was the first.
Is that what you were tagged in?
The Mizzou rules, yes. And I was out in Farmington, Doug, for the St. Gabriel Golf Tournament. Did you watch any of that?
No.
It's on tape delay on CW.
Ship it.
We won the B flight.
There you go.
We won the B flight. Now, I don't really understand the flights, but I just know we won the B flight. And that's all that matters.
Yeah.
So we will have a trophy presentation at 9 o'clock from Fungo. He's coming in with the trophy.
Is he good?
That'd be great.
Good. I like Fungo.
But here, I got a chance to. I came home on, I guess, after my son's birthday party on Saturday. My wife and I were just relaxing, and I go, "Oh yeah, I got to look at this because I was tagged in it." And both of us, as well, I'm a near Missouri alumnus, and she is a Missouri alumnus.
You were this close, Tim.
8 hours.
This
It would
close.
have made all the difference in the world.
If it hadn't been for politics among those teachers, you'd have been in.
That's exactly
You
right.
could have doubled your pay with that piece of paper.
Absolutely.
Why don't
Thank
make
you,
your
Plummer.
parents proud and just go back and get those 8 hours?
I actually do think about it. I really do
Do
think
you?
about it. I truly do.
You
As
You could
weird
probably
as that
do it
is.
online.
I know. I mean, and now I'm interested in learning, whereas when I was there, I had
Or maybe forget online. Go back and join a fraternity for.
go back to
for
the
half
Sigma
a
Chi
semester.
house.
Be so
3-term
good.
Rush chairman.
Be so
It sounds
great.
like a movie,
You had
doesn't
to
it?
rush
I
again.
think the
yeah.
Zai chapter is no longer with us. Doug, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to present to you Mizzou rules.
God, I'd love to hear him. Hit the Libra.
Tiger fans, we want Faroe Field to be the loudest place in the country.
Follow these 5 rules of the zoo for all 4 quarters, and we will be rocking all night long.
This is rule at the zoo number 1.
When our Mizzou offense takes the field and gets ready to work,
Love that first.
this is rule at the zoo number 2.
Each and every time our Mizzou offense moves the chains, our announcer will start us off with, "That's a first down for M-I-Z." And you will say, C-O-U! Go Tigers!
This is rule at the zoo number 3.
Tiger fans, when you hear that Jaws music start, it means it's time for a Mizzou kickoff. Our kicking unit is on the hunt like sharks, and trust me, these guys live up to the shark name. And when that Jaws music starts, link arms and start to sway.
Oh,
Can you imagine?
And make
linking
sure to
arms with
carry
another
this momentum
Hoosier?
towards kickoff.
This is rule at the zoo number 4.
When our Tigers are out there on defense, y'all know what time it is. We need some And when you hear those trumpets start, let's take it up a notch because it's 3rd down. Let's go!
This is rule at the zoo number 5.
Once that clock hits 0 in the 3rd, it's officially the 4th. Put those fists up. It's our chance to unify Faroe Field and propel our Tigers to a win.
Those are the 5 rules at the zoo, so let's keep Faroe Field rocking, and don't be afraid to lose that voice. M-I-Z!
You already did that one.
it was a joke, right?
No,
Please tell me that was a joke.
They are serious. Have you actually
No,
seen the
it was
video?
a takeoff of the Rams because it was so bad they said we can be even worse.
I don't know.
Didn't the Rams rule start with that
Yeah.
riff of
Same
Welcome to the
music.
Jungle, right?
Yes.
The first
The
thing
same
that
exact one.
when you
like,
play it, it's the exact same music that
I'm
they
floating up
play.
Rams
That's why I
rules
thought it
we
was
could
a
play at
gag.
the
Oh,
beginning
yeah?
of-
Okay.
The first 2 rules. are the
I think
same.
it is a gag.
I think it must be.
No, like they took it. So, like if it is, they were great actors. They look like they took it pretty seriously.
Where did it come from? A website or?
I think it came from the Missouri Athletic Department.
That's why it's like
no.
it can't be that big of a joke. That's a legit, obviously, you know.
I think it's real.
Well, if it's real, it's sad. 'cause
Fans,
there it
we
is.
want to have the loudest stadium in the NFL.
To help us all come together as the 12th Ram, we've created Ram rules.
It is. It's the
so
same.
that isn't Welcome to the Jungle. That was Welcome to the Jungle and another one of the rules. Doug, is that what that was the music for the 1998 Chicago Bulls? And is that the Alan Parsons project? Is
I
that
don't know.
serious?
I
believe you're right.
I think so. You suppose one of the Rams marketing guys who didn't go to L.A. got a job at
He's
Mizzou?
now moved from I'm going to pass on
Because it
Los
sounds
Angeles,
exactly
California.
like it. It's the same thing, only a little bit worse.
I mean, it might.
Except with the grandma. The Rams had some grandma telling
Oh,
people.
that's right.
And then they did MIZZOU twice.
I don't get the shark thing. Can somebody explain the shark thing? When I watched it, I didn't get the
Their special
link.
teams are on the hunt like a shark.
But you link arms with another person?
And you sway back and... If you have to tell people how to cheer,
How about Drinkowitz
you
has
got
something
a
to do
big
with that?
problem.
I don't think it's terrible. I think the shark one's terrible. But the first two, like Jackson said, are the same as the Ram rule.
Don't tell us how to
quiet on
cheer.
offense and loud on defense. That's understandable.
And it has been for the last 80 years. Why are you telling us how to cheer?
Could you imagine if somebody
Jackson's
turned...
about to issue the
Yeah.
Missouri statement.
All I'm saying is when I heard Timmy Trumpets again, I feel like run through a brick wall. But the rest of that was...
Oh, you like that?
Well, the rest of it was absolutely cringe. But the third down and Timmy Trumpets, I do. It fires me up.
Interesting, because
But
I kind of thought the Timmy Trumpet thing got played out since everybody started using it last
everyone
year.
was using it. Yeah.
And so I thought that would be like a 2022 thing. It lives in its time capsule, but it looks like it's making a return for 2023. Doug, Brian Kelly, that little Southern debutante, we'll have to hear that on October 7th.
What are they going to play Gangman style after every touchdown? I mean, what are we doing here?
The Harlem Shake.
We'll let the dogs out. I mean, there's nothing original about that.
Uh-oh.
It's embarrassing.
You think these rules...
It was embarrassing. I will
You
give
think
you
these rules went all the way to the athletic director and she gave the go-ahead to it and Drinkwitz
No.
said, sure, let's do it.
It didn't hit Drink or athletic
PRF.
director. I don't think either one of them had looked at it before it was approved
Wouldn't
by
you be
Missouri
embarrassed
Athletics.
by that if you were
Yes.
I think if I'm a
role
recruit, I'm looking to open up my recruitment.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
it.
I'm like, okay, you
Transfer
know.
me.
Didn't they do something like that like 3 years ago, though? Kirby Smart did something to teach the people between the hedges how to cheer, right?
I don't remember that.
It was Saban.
Oh, God, could you imagine Saban watching an Alabama video and telling fans how to be
cheer.
quiet on
And
the
Ryan Day copied it. At Ohio
Because
State.
we still don't understand football. It's only been around for a couple of years in this country. We just don't get it yet.
I watched that Gator documentary, and I think a big portion of it was the Gator rules.
I have,
Yeah.
my wife and I actually started watching it last night. We're an episode, Doug, would we say an episode and 3/4 through, or an episode and a half?
I don't know.
And I have to say, at the moment, it does feel like it is a sanitized version. But maybe in episodes 3 and 4, it's 4 episodes, is that right, Plowhawk?
Yeah, 3 and 4, they get more to the quote-unquote trouble.
Okay,
but
all right.
it's basically, the whole 4 episodes are basically, you know, who's going to take over the outside linebacker position. I mean, that's basically what the
Silers and Spikes.
Yeah,
And
like-
then T, it's
that'll keep going.
Yeah, it's kind of like a university put out a story on their successful run. And so that's what's going on lately with some of these quote-unquote documentaries. They're the people involved with them putting out their own version of it.
Yeah, their own spin.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
One thing I liked about the Mizzou fan base, I went to a game where they had to wear the tiger stripe colors. If you're in an odd section, you wear gold. If you're in
That's
an even
actually
section,
sweet.
you wear black. And people did it, and it really looked cool. And I thought, wow, that's it. That's what Mizzou needs to do every Saturday to distinguish itself. That could be their thing, to have a unique look that everyone could kind of get into. And it was very visually striking. I thought it was really cool.
Probably look great on TV as well.
It did. It looked great.
Yeah.
Well, why not do that
I
every
like that.
Saturday? You got a home game and make that your thing
That's
instead
easy.
of this nonsense.
All you got to do is put on a shirt. You think these people are going to do these rules? I mean, nothing against the Moleman. What's his name?
Randy?
Doug, the
Oh,
Mole
Randy.
people, Jackson interviewed those people
Vegas.
under the
Randy Moleman.
ground
I think he
of
stayed there
Las
last
Vegas.
He used to do a show on 1380 called The Mole Hole.
Yeah, I love Randy.
Nothing against him. But this MIZZOU you thing is getting played out. I mean, first down, M-I-Z-Z-O-U. Every first down.
Yeah.
Damn right.
I think all of it will be cooler once they start winning, right? Like, these things look better once your team is ranked and you're taking down SEC
Doug,
foes.
top 5 team, undefeated after beating LSU.
It's embarrassing right now because we have a guy smoking a cigar, running around the field, hugging people like they just won the Super Bowl when they just won their 6th game to backdoor themselves into like a terrible bowl. But if they get to like double-digit wins and you got a crowd doing the tiger stripe thing, then it kind of you're relevant. It kind of looked cool. Right now, it looks like you're grasping for straws.
Well, if you get to double digits, you don't need to do stupid things like this.
Very
We don't ever need to be told, officially told by the university, to be quiet when Mizzou has the ball and to make noise when the other team doesn't. How stupid do you think the fan base is?
I don't like calling them rules. I think they really should be suggestions. Like, once you say these are established rules, then, like, you're breaking the rule if you're not super quiet when they're on
Who do you have to tell that to? Who's your audience there that doesn't understand that?
Well, if I'm not mistaken, haven't they been trying to get more of the student body into the games?
Yeah.
Do you think the students are going to, drunk at 8 o'clock in the morning, they're going to be doing these rules?
No.
Yeah, so who are you doing it for? The olds?
I don't know who you're doing it for. You're saying that we know football and our fan base doesn't have the first clue what they're watching.
I'll be honest, you watch the video, doesn't look like a lot of athletes who were students that were doing this video.
Wouldn't think
so
it would
like,
be, no.
I don't know if I had one of those people turn around and go, shh, I may actually snap.
Our quarterback can't hear the signal.
A lot of people are debating as to whether or not it was real, as in, was it intentional, was it a parody, or was it real?
I think it might be parody because it's so horrible. It's so bad and so similar to what the Rams did. I think somebody probably made it up.
But if it came from the athletic department, they wouldn't be doing a...
Are we positive it did? Because we're pretty easily fooled.
No, it came from their YouTube account.
Yeah. It was 100% Mizzou Athletics was the one.
I don't think it's a joke. I think they probably thought it was serious, but they stole it from the Rams.
Well, I don't think affiliating yourself with the Rams in any form or fashion is a good idea.
No.
Like, and I know it, and it may.
And the thing is, weird as it is, that Rams rules thing, I think, was from 2011. So, while 2011, for those of us who are older, doesn't seem that long ago. If you're a college student at Missouri, if you're a freshman, you were born in 2005, so you were 6. So, like, the satire probably wouldn't necessarily translate. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. But the Rams rules were so universally ridiculed that they stopped doing them a short time after they brought them out.
I think it was a one-time thing, and I'm very proud of our show. We played a role in the destruction of that.
Yeah.
I actually went to that game. It was on September 11th, 2011.
Well, let's destroy this one.
Well, the people have already beaten us to the punch on this. But, yeah, that was, like I said, if it was satire, it's good, but I don't know if it necessarily resonates with the audience because the audience was too young for when the Rams rules came out.
Yeah, it's pretty niche to be making that.
Right,
And like only our show would be the one to like really recognize it.
Right. Maybe that's why I was getting it sent to me and tagged and so on.
Right when they released it on a Friday afternoon.
Yeah, the old
Point our
Friday
wrath.
afternoon.
Yeah.
The Mizzou rule sounds like something you would teach like a kindergarten class or a first grade class, kids who've never been to a game.
You're going to your first JFL game? Okay,
Right.
Here's what you guys need
or
to
somebody
do.
somebody who just came here from another country where they don't have American football and they don't know what it's all about.
Dude,
Here, we'll tell you how to cheer.
If I'm sitting next to somebody and they're on special teams and somebody tried to link arms with me too, that's also not going to happen.
No.
Like, get
You
away
got a
from
beer
me.
in that hand.
You just shush me, and now you want to link arms and do the shark tail? I'm good, bro.
Don't they do that at Texas A&M when the 12th man comes out?
Yeah, but that kind of has a storied tradition
that's
as well.
theirs.
Yeah,
to
but
it,
they're stealing it.
They came up with it. It's theirs.
And it works.
So I think the tiger stripes could be Mizzou's.
I love that.
Mizzou's thing. And do it every game.
Fight Tiger.
Yeah.
Have Nike make a jersey.
And you know
of
what you're
the
wearing
tiger
based on
stripe?
where your seats are. You always know what you're going to wear.
This is embarrassing. Jackson's silence is palpable. He needs to renounce this. That's from Mr. Licks. Jackson, why will you not renounce?
Start rooting for Illinois.
Renounce my Tiger fandom.
Yes.
Renounce this
I'm never
Rams
gonna. They could put
part.
out 100 of those. I won't.
Getting tired of Alexa throwing Jackson into everything.
Doesn't bother me in the slightest. So. Yeah, I'm not gonna now. I mean, it's a goofy social media video. They probably have to do a certain amount, and so they do it.
If memory serves, Big Old Fans, it really is a Big Old fan. He's a big Cardinal fan, and if memory serves, a big Missouri fan. Now that we're starting up the college football season, Doug and the Tigers will be undefeated after beating that little Southern Belle, Brian Kelly, after he grinds on recruits.
They will.
And he is not happy with a couple of people. STFU, Iggy, you effing moron. Tell us what Merrimack does during their college football games. Then he follows up. Of course it's parody. It's the exact same. You freaking dip S's. It's the same music style. It's satire. They aren't doing it, students.
But if it's satire,
Dude,
it needs to be more on the it's a weird satire to just pull out of nowhere.
Leave it to Missouri Athletic to not even understand what satire is. You got to make sure that people understand it. Like put in in the video, it needs some sort of Rams rule element.
If they said sack, if they yelled out
exactly,
sack,
like something like
I would
that.
think it's satire.
100% agree.
Yeah, that would have let us in. But again,
it looked real.
Even for you, Jackson. I mean, at 13, do you remember? You didn't start listening to the show till 2014, is that right?
Yes, sir.
So I really do think the Rams rules was 2011. I don't know.
No, it was. I remember pulling that audio. Yeah.
Okay. And we were talking about in the show, and then somehow, I guess, maybe, hell, it could have been Iggy. I know you would send things to national outlets. I think it got on Deadspin back before Deadspin was whatever Deadspin is now. I don't even know if it's still around. And then it made its way around social media in 2011, and people couldn't believe it, But that was a serious effort on the part of that was not parody. That was serious on the part of the Rams. My point being, here's Jackson, who's 25. He's 13 at the time. I don't know if at 13 you're really thinking through, nuanced satire, much less somebody who's in college now.
Right.
To know that they are mocking something from 2011. I mean, for me, the equivalent would have been like Mizzou would have put out a parody of something in 1982. I don't know if it really would have resonated with me.
Right, that's the thing.
At 5 years old.
If they did this when their first year in the SEC, because that video is clearly for the student section. That the old fans in the other side of the stands aren't going to be linking arms and swaying back and forth. That's not going to happen.
No.
So if this would have been made in 2012 when they were going to the SEC, it would make sense. It's 1 year after the Rams rules.
So
to do it in 2023 makes no sense.
If I understand Big Old Fan's text, then
he's still not happy.
You think this is good?
Let's see. Of course, it's parody. It's the exact same thing. You freaking dip S's. It's the same music style. It's satire. They aren't doing it, students. And I don't know what that meant. Maybe it was they aren't doing it for the students. And then he followed up, I'm not a big Cardinal fan. Plowboy is just an ass.
Oh.
What did I even say?
You don't have to say anything with this douche.
It's clearly somewhat real. If there is satire in it,
What about fans in Kansas City? How the hell are they supposed to know about?
That's the other thing I was thinking about. It's great for those of us who lived through the St. Louis Rams over here, but for the whole state.
Or Chicago. What do these people
they
think
recruit out of the whole entire country. How is this really a thing?
Right.
How are you going to talk
text the Colonel and see what he thought?
It's like you're going to talk to an offensive lineman at IMG Academy in Bradenton, Florida, and he's just going to understand this and want to be like, yeah, this is cool as hell.
I do think it's so close to the Rams rules that it has to be somebody ridiculing it. It has to be.
I don't know.
You couldn't come up with this independently because it's too similar.
Right. No, it looks like they saw the Rams rules and were like, no, that's good stuff. We're going to take that and do this.
Either that or that's so bad. Let's have a joke with it ourselves.
Right. If it's satire, it's akin to doing satire of Millard Fillmore's State of the Union speech. That's from Minute Bowl eligible. Yeah. Big Old Fan is a big old cuck. Get this mother effer off the text line. That's from Uncle Cucker.
And I don't believe Merrimack had a football team either.
No, they never have.
So they wouldn't have had any of this crap.
Can you imagine the Merrimack football squad?
They've all been cut. They've tried to cut out sports in the junior college. All three schools come together now for one team.
It's a shame because they had a good baseball team. You played on it.
Soccer, basketball. They had some great teams in a lot of sports.
They probably were getting treated at Mentality, I would guess, because Mentality is going to make you feel right and you're going to fire on all cylinders. Brother, go to lowtusa.com to learn more about this local healthcare facility specifically dedicated
to helping men feel and perform at their very best. It does not matter what age you are. Low testosterone can be an issue with any guy, even if you've tried testosterone before. Not everyone understands the blood chemistry in men's bodies. Mentality can help. The normal range for testosterone is large. If you've been to a doctor and they told you that you were normal without understanding the range or testing your free testosterone, it was not fully looked at, come get checked with Mentality. Compete at work and at sports like you did a few years ago with Mentality. Just go to lowtusa.com. Text into the program at 314-881-TMA5. That's the EDF group text inbox. Call in and be a friend of the Feather. Jackson's back there now to take your calls. 636-9004-TM8 and email the morning after at InsideSTL.com. The morning after at InsideSTL.com for our design, air, heating, and cooling email of the day. Biggest fan base is STL. Seems easy to get why they would make fun of something we hate. That's from Big Ol' Fan. Doug, he believes it was a parody.
I think it just has to be. It has to be.
So they're already I don't know. Does this help recruiting?
No.
Making the parody. If it is a parody, what's the upside in terms of the athletic department? Does it get recruits? Is it fun for the student body? I'm just trying to think of the advantage to release something so vague.
How about this?
I'm ready. This should be a segment.
How about this?
It's plagiarism. There's one guy that they put in charge of doing something like this. He heard this, probably figured nobody else would ever remember this. I'm going to steal it, put in some different things, and put it together. And nobody in that athletic department even knows what the Rams rules are.
That's possible. It's possible.
Get this guy on the air.
Get who on the air? Who's the guy?
Whoever put it together.
Well, we don't know who did it.
Do some investigating.
Doug, can you do some?
You do the investigating.
We could probably, there are probably 15 or 20 students, and I'm sure somebody, a listener, knows one of the students. We could probably try to see who created it. I don't have a care in the world, though. It's like,
he needs to be held accountable.
I think it's fun.
We'll get a text in about 10 minutes. We got Johnny Johnson lined up at 9:15. He put the thing together.
Johnny Johnson did this to us? Doggone him.
He got a multi-facet con game going on.
I'm hoping it's a parody. If they show it pregame Thursday, I want them to fire everybody involved in the making of said video. That's from Chairman Steve, and he is in Wildwood.
I would be in favor of that.
Well, hopefully they got a close-up of the sidelines of LSU when they play that. Watch Brian Kelly just laughing his ass off.
Well, he has no room
Won't
to
be
talk.
laughing when he's losing.
He grinds on 17-year-old students who then
he does? That's a serious charge.
Decommits from their program. He got a whole other set of issues. He's the last one that should be laughing at the Rams or the Mizzou rules. That dude has some cringy vids.
You think he's going to leave here humbled?
Damn right, Doug.
That'll be a good game, though. I hope it is ranked unranked.
LSU's ranked, what, 5th in the country right now?
And they play Florida State, which if they win, will probably go up to the top 3. Lose, you're in the top 10 still. So I think for Mizzou, it could be a tough task. Jaden Daniels is legit.
Fight Tiger.
Okay.
Beat Tiger. Go Tigers.
Link
Beat
arms.
Tigers.
Start swaying.
Fight. Win.
Doing that.
Tigers. Jackson, what a wonderful video you and KG and O-Town turned out this weekend. Man on the Street. Doug, you love Man on the Street. We call that a Vox Pop?
Vox Pops?
I like that.
Yeah. My first experience doing so.
And how did you enjoy your first Vox Pop?
Not a fan.
Why is that?
It's brutally awkward at some points. So, we're out there on Fremont Street, and I guess I underestimated that people wouldn't necessarily be receptive because of all that was going on Fremont Street.
Doug, what's going on Fremont?
I don't know.
Well, the Fremont Street experience is like that downtown stretch of Las Vegas. Circa's right there. The D. There's a ton of Golden Nuggets right there. There's a ton of casinos, and there's a lot going on, including, as you saw in the video, some characters out there, and so people aren't necessarily receptive when you just walk up at them and say, "Hey, will you answer some questions on camera?" So we decided to make a sign that said, "For $1, answer a question." So if they agreed to that, they were agreeing to be on camera. So people would come to us. No, I took that loss, and you know what? Worth it.
How many dollars you pay out?
Like
15, maybe.
Oh,
I mean, not a big deal. I was happy to do it because then I didn't have to go up to people and ask them, "Hey, will you answer this question about cuckolding?"
Oh.
So they kind of agreed to do it that way.
Did anyone know what it meant?
We'll take a listen. We have the audio for you.
Okay, hit the lever.
What do you think of St. Louis, Missouri?
Was that Jackson?
St. Louis, Missouri is a state.
Do you know what the term cuckold is? Yeah, ain't that what you are? Yeah, I'll pay you accordingly. Don't worry. But you gotta ask this. You gotta answer this big question. How would you define cuckold? Do you know what the term cuckold is? Yeah. Well, it was fun anyways, right?
Yeah.
All right. Who has the best fans in baseball? Baseball. Are you pro or anti-kink shaming? Do you shame kinks?
Yes.
That's unfortunate. What kinks do you shame?
Golden showers.
Not into water sports?
What'd she say?
God bless. You know we got the best fans in baseball, right? Yeah. Do you know what a cuckold is? A cuckold. Not easy. You don't know what a cuck is? How do I put this? It's like a guy that he lets his wife sleep with another man. Sometimes he'll watch. On our show, we don't kink shame. Do you kink shame? Do you have any kinks? No. You want to know mine? I'm looking for somebody, not you, but I'm looking for a girl that would spit in my mouth. Oh. Are you okay with that? Are you okay with that? Yeah. Yeah? Thanks for joining us. Do you know what a cuckold is?
Yes, I do.
Do you know what a cuckold is? How would you define it?
I would define a cuckold as somebody who likes to watch their girlfriend get another guy.
That was the highlights.
That's called A Man on the Street live with Jackson and KG in O-Town. It's the Fremont experience.
I implore people to go watch it on our Instagram because it's better with the visual.
Was there a problem with the task cam?
No, sir.
Did you have a task? Did you?
It was
bring a
so
task
loud out there. So the fact that we got somewhat clear audio is a miracle. It was real, like they were blasting Katy Perry.
You hit them with questions that they just really were not prepared for.
Well, they got paid for it. So
Yeah.
They can't complain.
No, they shouldn't.
They actually stopped for $1.
That's the thing is like I think just mentally like the idea of like, oh, someone's going to give me a free $1, I'll answer whatever, as opposed to me just like bum rushing you and saying, hey, because we tried that and that did not go well.
Everyone said no?
Or just ignored me, and that was humbling.
Because they thought you wanted something from them.
Right. I mean, like there's like people like in clown mat. There's guys shirts off, nipple rings on, trying to slap your ass.
Oh,
it's like a whole thing.
Bill.
But like one of the gentlemen, one of the characters, before answering, spit on the sidewalk and then answered to the best fans in baseball with baseball, and I just thought that was wonderful.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a better version on Instagram, but yeah, that was an experience to say the least.
Okay.
It's fun, man.
Yeah.
It is super fun.
Well, you give it a shot. You try. You never know.
Right. Well, we went out there wanting to do some mail on the street, so I was like, our last night, we got to do some mail on the street here. And Fremont Street's a perfect place to do it. Like, I don't think that would work as well on the Strip.
I thoroughly enjoyed watching it. I agree with Jackson that perhaps it didn't translate as well to solely audio.
Right. I totally agree. Yeah, because you need the visual aspect of it, and you lose out on it. Like, some of the characters are better. The visuals of the character are better. And I also took out some parts of it there.
That Asian girl was kind of hot.
She was a good-looking woman, yeah, and she played ball better than anybody. Like, she was like, I do know what a cuckold is. Like, let's do this.
Anybody
like,
get that?
Sweet. What was that?
You try to get that?
What kind of question was that? Did anybody hit that?
Well, he's single. He's single. Did you try
I think Jackson's a mole, man above.
Buy her a drink or anything?
No, I had more men on the street to do. I was like, thank you. I mean, she was doing it for money. It wasn't necessarily like, I don't think she would have come out and done that had I not given her.
She really stopped for $1.
For her, I said, I'll give you guys 2, because her and the blonde woman were the walking as a pair.
Iggy, so you think you stop someone on the sidewalk and say, hey, can I ask you a question? And immediately you go and buy them a drink at a bar somewhere?
When you're done. I mean, you get done with it. I mean, it wasn't like they couldn't edit it and stop it, say, you want to have a cocktail when we're done with this?
I agree that could have been done, but it didn't happen.
I don't know, that would be pretty awkward.
You got to shoot to score, buddy.
I guess.
It's crazy to have 2 guys go out to Las Vegas and post their interviews within 6 months of returning. Great work, fellas. That's from Arbor Day.
Yeah, well, my 50 were in the system the very next day, so you're wrong there.
I didn't know that's what they were getting at.
That's exactly what they were getting at. I just answered the question. And now maybe Biff's, the ones Biff did, he couldn't get him off his phone. There's still videos of his we didn't play, but
really.
And every 6 months he'll reach out to me or Jackson. Hey guys, I still got these interviews if you want them.
So do you want them? A little dated.
Not particularly.
Okay.
No, he got girls you never heard of before.
Oh. Well, you do your best as cub reporters.
Cub reporters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would think a lot of people in Las Vegas aren't looking to do interviews while they're walking down the sidewalk.
They're like, and it's tough. You got to pick the right one. Like we had someone who like agreed to do it, but like they're with their family. Like they were like probably 22 and they were with their family, and I was like, I'm not going to ask you what cuckolding is, like right in front of like your aunt and uncle. So that was tough. But then you pick the right people. Some of the people who looked like they were asking for money for most of the day were very receptive to the $1 answer the question deal.
Yeah.
And they usually provide the best audio, so it was kind of a win-win.
A lot of homeless people out there?
Yeah, so the guy who spit on the ground before the interview picked up a cigarette that was in an ashtray and lit it, and then decided to start doing the interview. So that was interesting. And then returned to, like, scream at the camera.
Oh.
We had a girl at the old 920 studios. What was that street? What'd you call that?
Hampton.
No.
Hampton Avenue.
No, 920 when we first started, where Bert's studio was.
Pershing.
Pershing, that's right. Plowhawk nicely done.
Yeah.
Central
Well,
West End.
there was a homeless girl that would just wait for us to go back inside after a break and take her lit cigarettes.
I've seen that 1,000
Really?
times. Oh, God, yeah, dude.
Every once in a while, I just take a couple puffs and throw it down so you have a whole cigarette instead of a butt.
Well, why don't you just hand it to her instead of throwing
No,
it
she
down?
wasn't in front of us. She hit around the corner, and then when we left, she'd go grab them.
That has to be absolute rock bottom. When you're waiting for someone to finish a cigarette so you can get another couple of puffs off a cigarette that he threw on the ground. I mean, does it get any worse than that?
I'm sure it does, but I'd hate to go into detail over in the air about what actual rock bottom probably is.
Rock bottom was I saw a homeless couple, and the girl wasn't bad looking.
No.
But her boyfriend, and you could tell they had their knapsacks, and they put their knapsacks down, stripped down to their underwear, and were taking a shower in that fountain.
Which fountain?
There was a fountain right next to outside.
The radio station?
Yeah, it wasn't so much a fountain. It was like flat.
Yeah, no, I
and
know.
And then it had like some hoses going up and
it was
water
like to
came
the
up.
right. It was like a water feature.
Yeah.
Like what you see, when dogs play with it.
And they
you
were
gotta
taking
wear-
baths in there.
Yeah, they stripped down to their underwear, and they're washing themselves.
Sick.
That's close to.
Those are mole people, pretty much. The mole people of St. Louis have come out. And
Jackson, how was Friday night in Las Vegas?
Friday, I mean, we spent most of the night doing that man on the street stuff. Like, because you want to do it somewhat later in the night when people have had a chance to get lubricated.
Mm-hmm.
Where did you dine Friday night, since I'm getting the sense that nothing happened Friday night?
Nothing did happen Friday night. That's when I got in and out. That's when I decided to get some in and out because I didn't want to go back to the Strip due to the traffic issue that had been realized the night before.
But you have to go south. Is there only one in and out?
It was on Sahara, so it was...
So toward the Death Star, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, very much toward
Well,
the Death
that's
Star.
a fairly decent haul from downtown.
Yeah, I mean, it was like a 10 or 11-minute Uber ride, but it was worth it because I really wanted to get in and out.
What did you get from in and out?
Double animal style.
Animal style, though.
What in the world is that?
Yeah. I got the fries just to confirm that they were trash, and boy, howdy, that was confirmed.
For the life of me, I don't get it with their fries.
I had like two of the fries. I was like,
I mean, this show, I think, I don't know, it's so tough because I don't like to do radio wars, but I don't know if another show in town covers best fries better than we do.
No, and we don't fry shame either.
Correct. But I don't know if we've covered worst fries anywhere because usually, Doug, it's like pizza. Everybody enjoys fries.
Mm-hmm.
But In-N-Out's fries are so dreadful that I can't figure the whole thing out.
I don't know if I've had them.
Oh, they're brutal.
I don't know what to say outside of they are, without question, the worst fries I've had.
You know who likes them? Who's the former Texas Tech? He passed away. Coach
Mike Leach?
Mike Leach. He was critiquing his favorite burgers, and he actually mentioned In-N-Out. He says, I love the In-N-Out fries.
Well, you can get the fries animal style, but then I think that's like you're adding 5,000 calories to the delicious dish.
What's animal style?
It's like slathered in mustard and sauce and onions. It's really good on the burger. But yeah, I saw someone else have the In-N-Out fries, and I was like, yeah, I'm glad I didn't make that play because that's a little aggressive.
I guess I'd go In-N-Out, Steak and Shake, Five Guys. The French fries are tough to beat, really, at all of them. You know, because you can get a T-shirt from In-N-Out for under $20, and
Okay.
Nice.
Good morning. Freddy's fries are worse than In-N-Out's. Thanks. It's from the 314.
Freddy's are bad fries.
You've had them?
I had them at Busch Stadium. That's where I bought 3 cheeseburgers, 2 fries, and a couple bottled waters. Cost me $75.
Oh, value.
Yeah.
Oh man, what'd you do with the extra $25? You probably brought 100 thinking you were going to spend it, right?
Really? I told you I spent that, right?
Oh yeah.
It was at a concert. Upper Deck, Freddy's, 50 people in line. 3 cheeseburgers, 2 fries, couple bottled waters, $75.
You think about those 50 people probably spent an average of $28, let's say. You know, because you're buying
Probably
for
double
yourself.
that.
Maybe, yeah.
Freddy's is a good burger. It's just an overpriced Steak and Shake.
It is.
Yeah.
It's 100%.
Nothing to it. There's nothing to it.
Steak and Shake's fire. Hampton.
The fries are pure trash. In-N-Out is also an overrated burger, unless you are at the In-N-Out on Sepulveda by LAX, watching the planes. Thank you. Watching the planes land. Thanks. That's an veiled profit.
Well, the only good.
Does that make it better when you're hanging out at LAX?
It just sounds like you're someplace cool, so
That-
the food's better.
That
'cause
couldn't
I'm
have been
cool.
more braggy.
Yeah.
Like the In-N-Out is the exact same at both locations, but he wants everybody to know. I
LAX.
once took a flight in LA.
Right.
Burger's unreal.
Hollywood
the
needed
burger is outstanding, but the fries are just like
Yeah, the burger's good.
pointless.
I think some people treat it kind of like back in my high school days, where
They treat it like your high school days.
no, you couldn't get Coors beer except for in Kansas City, and people would go to Kansas City and come back and go to like our dances and stuff with Coors beer, and they think they were cool because hey, we got Coors, went to Kansas City and got this great beer. No, it's piss.
Oh
wow!
But and I'm not saying In-N-Out is piss, but a lot of people just say it's so great because you can't get it here
Coors was the cool beer.
because you couldn't get it here.
Hey, Doug, real talk. Do you like that one so much?
No, I don't. I don't like it.
In-N-Out is fine, but at the end of the day, it's just fast food. And going out of your way to Uber, there is something a fat or a sad would do. Thank you. That's some big tough.
Trust me, I felt like a fat sad doing it. Like it wasn't like I was like doing duck lips in the Uber, like heading out to In-N-Out. Ask me anything kind of thing.
I feel like
I was very much self-conscious about it, but I really wanted the burger, and so I did it. I don't know what to tell you.
They don't have DoorDash in Vegas?
They do, but like I'm telling you, like with the casino floors and everything, that could be picked off easily. I don't want.
I think it was In-N-Out. God, I guess during the pandemic too, which was really thinking about it. Had In-N-Out to my room on the Strip. And wow, you want to talk about the fats or the sads? That was the fats or the sads, and it must have cost some similar to what your Freddy's experience was to pay the fees for In-N-Out to be DoorDash to my room.
Why don't you just order something from the hotel?
Because I wanted In-N-Out like Jackson did.
Yeah, there was a great burger place at the hotel that I had hit earlier that week, but I wanted In-N-Out. I wanted it bad. That ain't good. And it was late too, so like it wasn't like I had a plethora of options.
You had it bad, and that ain't good.
Yeah.
They still have Steak and Shakes down there?
Oh no, they had a massive White Castle on Fremont Street.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, like a really big one.
They had a Steak and Shake inside of our Hooters hotel.
Man, I would never leave that hotel.
I bet there are some drunken Vegas losers who really bare their soul at the White Castle about 3 in the morning out there.
There's a couple spots on Fremont where they were serving up some foods for the fats and the sads.
How was the ass on Fremont?
So those 2 girls that were in the Man on the Street video, I would say were probably the best looking that we saw pass us in like the 2-hour time frame. So there's that.
So not good. You're saying not good.
That's the only females you saw?
There's that. that is the correct read you made, Doug.
I wouldn't say it was great, but that area isn't like, it's a little bit like, Myrtle Beach takes the Strip.
Oh my God! This is Ladue condescension on vacation destination.
I know, but I like that. Like I like a little. I've said before, I like a little Hoosier in my vacation.
Oh, now he's calling it Hoosier.
Well, I mean, it's tough not to. But like,
are you going to go after all the Missouri fans who are going to the lake after the game on South Dakota next?
No, nothing like a Victory Lake trip. Knock on wood. But yeah, I just thought that I liked that area more than I liked walking up and down the Strip. Not because of like I probably would have liked to stay near a strip if, it was a different case. But that downtown area, like you can walk out of Circa and be at 5 different hotels in 5 minutes. Whereas if you walk down the strip, you got to walk. It's hard to get places necessarily. They're doing construction left and right. A lot of pedestrian bridges over the street. It's easier to just walk up and down Fremont. You get a really cool experience. And so I liked that.
You never went to one of the clubs?
Yeah, what about the clubs? Bottle service?
No. Well, if you go to a club on the strip, you got to spend a lot of money to kind of enjoy yourself. And then if you go to a club elsewhere, you could have a whole nother amount of problems. Not to mention the early wake-up call every single day I was out there.
Yeah.
So, tough. But, still got a cool Vegas experience. Can't lie to you. Enjoyed myself.
Yeah.
The best way to enjoy an In-N-Out burger is to let it sit out for about 9 to 12 hours. Then let it take a ride on a plane and eat it. Delicious. That's from Larry Thornton.
Perfect.
Oh, wasn't perfect.
Doug, James Carlton is perfect, and he is located at carltoninsurance.net. He's my insurance agent, and he's a big Missouri fan. I know that. He's fired up. He's got a commercial with Luther Burden running, and Luther Burden, you think he's going to be a Heisman finalist when Missouri goes?
No.
You got him going 11-1, one loss between the hedges by 4? Is that what you said?
No, I wouldn't think he'd be a Heisman
second
finalist.
Hail Mary.
He was just like any other guy last year, wasn't he? You wouldn't have, if someone hadn't told you he was a 5-star, you'd never know it.
He's going to have a great year.
I hope so.
James Carlton, 314-961-4800, or go online at carltoninsurance.net. He's my insurance agent. Say, friends, why doesn't he become your insurance agent as well? Jackson, tell the people about Mark Hanna of Evergreen Wealth Strategies.
He's a great financial advisor.
Nice.
Truly a great one. And it's because he conveys his message so well to his clients. That first phone call, you get on with him, you'll talk about it, you'll talk about where you want to be in life, what your current situation is, and they'll make a custom plan for you. And I say custom because it's not just a cookie cutter plan that works for people in a similar salary range or a similar age group. That's not what Mark Hanna does. He learns about you, the client, and then makes a plan for you and educates you on it. And then if you need to make a change down the road because there's so many variables in life, you can get on the phone with Mark Hanna and you're going to feel better when you get off the phone than when you get on it. And to me, that is worth everything. That's why I work with Mark Hanna. It's exactly why you should work with Mark Hanna as well.
His number is 314-889-0503, or you can go online at evergreenstl.com. It's Mark Hanna, Evergreen Wealth Strategies. Design Air is the sponsor of our email today. It comes your way coming up at 9:45. Then Jackson and I'll go down the hallway and just deal with the situation. Doug, the Cardinals had an offensive output this weekend that we'll break down in Philadelphia, and we'll go hit by hit and play the call.
They scored 3 runs, right, this weekend?
No one's on the chopping block. Like this, I love how it's just everybody's just in on it. It's unbelievable. I love this. This is my favorite team.
This is your favorite Cardinals
team
of all time.
Team. They
There's
just don't
the
care.
1985 Cardinals, the 2004 Cardinals, and the 2023 Cardinals.
No accountability. No one seems to care. Like, just if this is the best I've ever seen Mozeliak and the team do. Like, just
I think
this is absolutely my favorite version of the Cardinals. I definitely keep it going next year. For sure.
Email in the morning after at InsideSTL.com. Is this your favorite Cardinal team of all time? You're competing right now with JV golf coach who has 5 wins for the month of August, and Buck Swope, who has 3. Keep an eye on Fat Ho, though. Still with 2 wins.
He stopped emailing in.
Blueberry Pop with 2 wins. Design Air Heating and Cooling. DesignAirService.com. Doug is a client of Design Air Heating and Cooling. I am a client of Design Air Heating and Cooling, the official HVAC provider of TMA and the Tim McKernan Show podcast. And don't forget, Jackson and I will have QFTA this week. Email your questions, your comments, just anything, and I'm offering $100 for you to piss me off. T. McKernan at InsideSTL.com. That is how you can participate in the fun and the games of the program. Let's see what we got here. Hey, Jackson, get to the point. How many women did you sleep with at the wedding? A? That's from Big
Canadian
Tough.
guy.
0.
Yeah, wasn't it like a family wedding?
My cousin's wedding, yeah.
Well, your cousins had friends that weren't related to you, weren't they?
Correct. Yes, sir.
Weddings usually are receptions usually easy. Those girls.
When did not being related to you have be a hurdle for you?
It doesn't stop me, but Jackson's got couth.
Right, and I was also staying in a room next to my parents. Not necessarily. Yeah, that wasn't the case. No, if it wasn't going to happen in Vegas, it wasn't going to happen in Clinton
You
County.
can gag her.
Illinois. What?
Gag her?
Oh, nice, Clinton County.
Tell her to be quiet. Fly with me, lesbian battle hawk. Go down to the pool or something.
You think it's that easy just to show up at any wedding and leave with a cousin?
Not cousins, but most weddings, the girls who aren't getting married are just they see that wedding, they see how happy they are, and they just get horny.
Do they?
That wasn't the case.
It's a well-known fact.
It's a well-known fact, Doug. Good morning, boys. All I want to say is I want to be Jackson when I grow up. Thanks. That's from humble leader of the second generation Lil Beer Cats.
Aim higher. Would be my advice.
Guys, Jackson had a date to the wedding. That's from Brad and Boca. You had a date to the wedding?
Nope.
You said on Friday you didn't have a +1.
I didn't. I don't.
Oh, there you go.
Well, these people know so much about us, don't they? They know what concerts I do and don't go to. They know who I have sex with
Yeah, we're
and
talking
don't.
about Jackson, not you.
They know Jackson didn't. He brought a date to the wedding. I mean, how do they know all these things?
I don't know.
I did not.
I don't know.
It was a great time. I mean, my cousin.
I want to make love.
Oh, that was Frank. Was he at the wedding?
No. I was the only member of the local media. I guess my mom. Me and my mom.
Yeah.
He was preparing for the pit.
So you had quite a little fun time on your vacation.
I had a really good 8-day stretch. Started with the Ace, went through Vegas, my cousin's wedding. Real good time in my life.
Yeah.
I'm in a good place.
Okay.
Look at you.
And now
I also
moving.
think you're a man in love or trending in that direction. It's just my read.
Less so that, just in a position where, as I kind of explained last week, like in a situation where it wouldn't be cool of me to be like, yeah, I'm out here looking for ass on the radio. You know? Like it's.
Is she a loyal listener?
No, but it's just.
What about Balloon Party? Did you meet her on the Balloon Party text line?
Right, yeah.
That's basically Bumble,
Yep.
right?
That's where everybody gets laid on the 101 text line. Yeah, so it kind of in a situation where I don't want to be like, hey, I'm out here in Vegas and trying to get some ass.
Yeah.
Wasn't what I wanted to do.
No, I
wouldn't
can
be
see
cool
that.
of me.
No, and you've got Couth.
Some would say.
Yeah.
Some would say.
Did you and KG in O-Town bond?
Yeah, absolutely. Perfect. Like he's such an easygoing guy, you know, and you know he doesn't drink, you know, he's open about that. So, but he was cool hanging out to the later parts of the evening when I'd be having some cold pops, and he's a real good dude, and he's great at social media. He had that video edited of us on Man on the Street like that night, like it was ready to go almost immediately.
God bless.
Yeah, he's really excellent when it comes to all that stuff. And just a really good dude, like the perfect kind of trip mate.
Trip
I like that trip, mate.
Okay.
Were your rooms adjacent so you could hear each other groan while you pleasured yourself?
No,
They just left their doors open.
a couple rooms apart. I'll tell you what, though, if you lose your room key in Vegas, you got to answer some questions to make sure it's your room. They take security seriously.
Oh,
down
yeah.
there. I had to identify what my room would look like when they opened it.
Really?
Wow.
So you
black
did lose your key?
suitcase. One time I left my wallet in the room and I had the room key, so I had to go down, and they were like, well, what's in there? You know, backpack. I had to say like what color the backpack was, what color my suitcase was, some other things in the room. I was like, damn. All right.
That'd have been a good video if you'd have set it up like that. See, I lost my room key. All right, what are we going to find when we're in there? Well, there should be a strap on the bed.
That would have been funny, and KG in O-Town had like blood on the back of his pant, like where a butt is. Like he's like, man, that would have been a fun X-rated little video.
I suppose security's not too crazy about somebody making a joke out of their security routine. They're not going to want a camera.
No, and I get why they do it like
Yeah.
that, because otherwise people could just say, hey, I lost my room key. But it was just rigorous, as I would say.
Huh. Well, there always has to be something that goes wrong.
That was like the only thing that did, really.
Yeah.
Hey, boys. Mrs. Swinghaven board member and I tied the knot in Las Vegas 18 years ago in October. I've been living my best life since. Thanks. That's from the Swinghaven board member.
Okay.
Congrats.
My parents got married in Vegas, too.
Did they?
Yeah. January 1st, 1998.
Little Elvis Chapel.
Something like that. I don't know. I don't remember. I wasn't alive, so.
No.
Disappointing that the videos are posted so fast. You guys are missing out on delayed marketing opportunities. That's from Chairman Stephen Wildwood. Doug, if you recall, he sponsored our video against Chris Nagel.
I saw him at Evolution Festival.
And that took 9 months?
There was a bit of a delay, and he was the sponsor of it, and I feel like he maybe may be referencing.
Well, quit going off on our employees like Joey. You act like we're the only show that he's got stuff to do for.
Oh, let him have it.
Well, he does know what goes on
Yeah, let
here.
him have it.
He wants to make fun of how long it takes. There was a lot of editing. And then at the same time, I saw what he had going on. He had 5 stations he was doing things for, clients he was doing things for.
Yeah. How long did it take to get your golf video up there?
I don't know.
Okay.
I wasn't looking for it. I don't care.
Because it plays often on the big screen here at the lobby of the station.
I go out to smoke, it's playing. I come back from smoking, it's playing again.
Yeah.
They do hit that hard.
It's either me or Plowsy running.
It's either Sinbad hour or an Iggy golf hour.
Just tuning back in. So the wildest thing that happened to Jackson in Las Vegas is losing his room key. That's from Mr. Licks.
I wouldn't say it was the wildest moment, but it was certainly a moment. I don't know what I would call the wildest moment.
Everybody wants the other guy to be really wild. But when they're the ones out there, it's not so wild.
What do they do at Motel 6 when you lose your key, Licks?
Well, no, I'm saying like short of me like going to an expensive nightclub and basically snorting junk off a stripper's butt.
Oh!
There's nothing I could have done that would have pleased the entire listeners.
No.
So I knew that going into it and accepted it.
If you just fabricated a story like that, I think we'd all be okay.
I guess. I think you would have caught a couple tells.
I don't feel bad. I mean, I went to Vegas and in 2 years interviewed 100 porn stars, didn't sleep with any of them. You'd think those would be the easy ones to get.
Did you want to? Did you go out there with the intention of sleeping with a porn star?
I would have slept with, but I didn't try.
Otherwise, you'd have had him.
You can't make fun of Jackson. He was
Who
only
would
there
you have
3
liked
days.
to have made love to?
Nicole Aniston, for one.
It's a good play, Doug.
If you had tried, would you have been successful?
Oh, there were some Elaine's girls that I could have gotten.
How do you know?
I saw them.
did a DP.
Like you had to write a big check or something?
No, it would
Venmo
it would have pretty much. You want to come by the room?
I'm not a gentleman. I'm a whore.
Oh, gosh. Was that your line to them?
I had sex and now Dad is dead.
Yeah, don't kill Dad.
Definitely a couple of those in Vegas.
Now Zoe Fox, that would have been easy because she was going to stay in my room until she told me that her husband was coming with her, and I said, "No, we just."
So if she was married, it probably wasn't going to be easy.
Oh yeah, it would have been a threesome.
What if they had said, no, we're not interested
But I
in
didn't-
you.
I
We
don't-
just want a free room.
I didn't mind her in the room spending the night and spending the weekend there, but I didn't want her strange husband in my room too.
I'm gay for Doug.
So I had to switch and say, "I'm sorry, I just found out they're not going to let you into my room. I only got one that can get in there, and if we get caught, we're in trouble." So
Looks like gay porn here.
Oh, did you ever get in the mail those ether rags you ordered from Amazon?
yeah, Zoe Fox is a cute little thing.
Jackson, don't feel bad about Las Vegas. Now, here's a story about me. Thanks. That's from the bastard, James.
That's exactly what I did. I turned the story in when I was there for 2 years and
When
had,
is it okay to kiss a guy?
had 100 porn stars I interviewed and didn't sleep with any of them. So we can't make fun of Jackson for interviewing a couple of people on the street and not sleeping with them.
Well, how often have you slept with someone you interviewed?
Wear that tushy bow tight.
I would have to think because there may be a.
I don't think it's ever happened.
Probably not.
Well, wasn't there that actress that, what was her name? From New York? who
Oh,
came down
yeah.
here?
Yeah, she was our political analyst for the
Yeah,
2020
Stacey
election.
something.
Stacey Nelkin.
Yeah.
I didn't sleep with her.
I thought you said you did.
No, I said there were some things that happened. Wasn't
I just want to call attention to the work Plowhawk's doing right now.
Sex.
A little speed going
I
here.
mean, it is a nice.
Theater must have been restarted over the weekend.
Doug, do you
Working.
feel that Earl Weaver was close to you and him having
No.
a connection?
No,
after
I don't-
That third
I don't-
time it didn't happen.
There's
He's
very
still-
little chemistry there.
He's still with us?
I think he's passed
I
on.
don't think so. I think he died.
I'm not sure I ever interviewed Stacey Nelkin.
Well, she's been on our show, and I can't imagine Doug said, let's get Nelkin on.
Well, I mean, I didn't interview
He likes
her.
Nightmare of Elm Street 3.
It wasn't like a.
It was Halloween, I believe.
Yeah, Halloween, Year of the Witch.
I thought it was Dream Warriors.
It was probably the worst of all the Halloween movies, but
Was she the lead?
yeah, her.
She
and,
was the lead? Wow.
Yeah, her and I forgot the guy's name.
The Halloween 3.
Season of the Witch.
Season of the Witch.
She was the lead. Actually, she replaced Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yep. Tom
Wow.
Atkins started
Tom
as
Atkins.
Dr.
Tom Ackerman, Doug. You
Oh.
listen to him on your way in every morning.
He's on KMWX.
And I
Every
think
time I
they-
turn KMWX on, he's there.
Yeah.
Weekends, weekdays.
They still do some Comic-Con stuff with together. They go out and
Wow.
And so what?
there's people that are Big Halloween fans.
How'd it feel to pitch with a lead like that?
Nice.
I don't know what that was.
It was a short answer.
Any not one, yeah.
Iggy, try this. When somebody tells a story, ask a question. That's from the 314. I've had cyber sex with Deke Dotem after I interviewed him for the 2022 TMA Listener of the Year Awards. That's from KG in O-Town. Cyber sex.
Where's that video?
You want to see the video, KG in O-Town and Deke Dotem having cyber sex?
I didn't see it.
No.
I don't know if it was public.
That sounds horrible.
TMA Patreon. You can watch us have cyber sex with listeners.
Well, we were offering the service where we would go public with
It's a private.
A private, yeah.
I'm not going public.
Yeah, and Plowsy did go private with the caller last week.
Like this, Doug.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
he slid over.
excused himself, turned his back to the camera, and had a quiet little conversation.
I really would like to just hammer home how awkward it was for me to be sitting there in that ballroom, empty ballroom in Vegas, with just our contact from Circa, not hearing the show because it's not like it's on a speaker, and just hearing my responses to the questions or topics that were being discussed. I overheard him. He's like, they just went 45 minutes and haven't talked sports once.
Who said that? The guys from Las Vegas?
Yeah, he's like, they just keep talking about Vegas.
Oh, can you? I was looking at the Post. This is nothing. This isn't like a criticism of the Post-Dispatch. I was reading the Post-Dispatch sports page this morning, and I go, my God, there's nothing.
Nothing going on.
We got nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, holy crap.
I do want to give them a little bit of advice, the Post-Dispatch. I know they're trying to get viewership or readership up online.
I'm sure they're
when I play
all ears.
When I play Golf Rival, I have to watch these ads to get free stuff. And there's an ad for the Post-Dispatch, and they're boasting 1,320 two-star reviews.
2-star reviews?
2-star reviews.
On their newspaper?
Yeah, there's 5 stars.
Yeah.
And next to it says 1,320 2-star reviews.
That's not great.
I'm not sure I'd be promoting that. So
That's odd.
Help you out, whoever's in charge of those videos that go up on those things. You may want to look at that.
That's nice advice for them.
Good counsel.
Thank you.
Owning the Cardinals, Aaron Nola hopefully got attention of Cardinals owners. That is the headline. Derek Gould's got a chat. Drew Rahm start yesterday. Creating havoc is a goal for Mizzou football's balanced group of defensive tackles. So story on the D tackles. Cardinals bats in a deep sleep as the Phillies complete series sweep. Luke and Baker gets the monkey off his back with first major league home run. And then another story on Drew Rahm. Those are the stories.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boy.
The last 2 or 3 weeks, I think, is definitely the worst Cardinal team that I've ever seen.
I don't even know if this is a team.
One of the worst in history. It's not just that they're losing. Some of the scores. The Phillies beat them.
It truly is getting blown off.
Yeah, Phillies beat them 12-1 and 7-2. Pittsburgh beat them 11-1. The Mets beat them 13-2 and 7-1. Oakland beat them 8-0. And Kansas City scored 12 runs against them one time.
Kansas City's playing pretty well, though.
Kansas City, Oakland, Mets, they're all last place teams. Pittsburgh's a 4th place.
Nobody's answering any questions. It's almost like even management and like front office, they're literally just waiting for this season to end. They really are throwing out whatever. They don't care.
They've
call
quit.
up any. They have absolutely quit, dude. It's embarrassing.
Mater is playing every day for some reason.
They don't care about the line. Like they just want to get to next year, and I cannot wait for the off season. Kind of hear that excuse train.
Well, it's back-to-back free agent displays here, Doug, with Nola yesterday and Snell on the mound tonight. For the Padres. A perfect foil will be Adam Wainwright going for win 199.
Well, if you're those two guys, Snell and Nola, why would you be interested in going to a last-place team?
Cardinals are now in a situation where they're going to have to overpay. They had to do it with Contreras, and I feel like they're going to have to do it with almost every free agent now. 'Cause this isn't that destination. I know it's just maybe a one-off year. Nobody coming here. Marmol's not a player manager, doesn't seem like. I wouldn't want to be in a room with John Mozilla because it feels like he's trying to sniff out any extra pennies he can and put it in his own pocket. I would never come here if I'm a free agent. So, yeah, I'm with you. You're going to have to overpay. For the most part, for some of those pitchers.
If
maybe
you're
not
those
for
guys, I think both late 20s, maybe 30 by now.
They want to win.
Yeah, they're going to, why would Nola stay right where he is?
Nola will be 31 in June of 2024. If I recall, I read Benjamin Hockman's column this morning, if I'm not mistaken, Doug. And he hasn't had a great year, although yesterday he looked like...
it hasn't taken a lot to shut the Cardinals down lately.
He turns 31 next June. Yeah, there you go.
Who would cost more, Nola or Snell?
Nola, probably?
Yeah, I think so.
Probably. It's kind of a toss-up, I think.
No, he was fourth in the Cy Young last year.
It'd be pretty close, I bet.
Oh, I don't think we're getting either one of them, by the way.
Not even a hint of news that Ali Marmol's job might be in jeopardy. Not even a hint.
I've never seen this before because DeWitt's they got pretty open when Matheny had that really bad year when they were transitioning from Schilt. They were pretty open about, we don't lose here. We set a trend here. This season, there is cricket. There is nothing. I'm not saying openly criticize every day, but they don't seem to really care about anything. This is, like I said, this is my favorite version of the front office right here. They've thrown the towel a month and a half ago and kind of just folded up their arms and go, well, here it is.
I think back in the old days, if they were still in the, I don't know, mind frame of going out and getting a veteran manager who's got success, like when they got La Russa. It was the old days, and God, we can get Joey Girardi next year, or we can get him next year. I'm sure what Moselak's thinking is, well, we can get rid of him, but we're going to hire Joe McEwen anyway, so what does it matter?
Yeah, they're going to get rid of a pitching coach or a hitting coach. That's going to be who they blame it on, typically what happens. And then it was amazing, though, like the Matt Holliday thing, and now he made the best decision of his entire career, was not getting involved with the coaching staff here. He would have been a scapegoat for sure.
It's very unusual for a team, especially like the Cardinals, to have a manager who didn't play in the league. A pitching coach who didn't play in the league. I think the hitting coach didn't play in the league.
And
third base coach didn't play in the league.
If Moselak played past third grade, I would have been shocked too.
Well,
that would be.
There's a lot of GMs and presidents that weren't former players, but almost always major league managers and coaching staffs come from players who played in the league, usually. And that there's real value to that if you've had success or failure as a major leaguer to then be a coach and work with other guys who are having successes and failures.
And teaching young players, because this is going to be a younger roster moving forward. Wainwright gone, obviously Yadi Pujols last year. This is a younger roster. I mean, young guys usually look up to people with a pedigree of, Major League Baseball experience. Not saying they don't look up to people who don't. Mike Schultz, a great example, but if I'm a 21, 22-year-old and we're getting shelled like this and a pitching coach and trying to tell me what to do that hasn't played, I'm going to look in the mirror and go, why am I listening to this dude?
Yeah.
Or
if you're Adam Wainwright trying to look for an answer,
true, yeah.
And there's a pitching coach that never did it himself. Not to say it can't happen, but usually the guys who are the top coaches did have experience at that level.
Well, Marmol is the worst manager the Cardinals have ever had. You can put out the stats and tell me otherwise, I get it. But in terms of what he has broken Moselak. I didn't know he just absolutely had broken Moselak. He can't fire him. He doesn't know what to do. He doesn't want to go through the fourth manager. Marmol knows this. Marmol knows he has the upper hand. He's going to be the manager regardless of next year. He has broken a guy that I didn't think could be broken. So there is one bright side to that. That dude is a killer.
The only thing that kills me, and we've said this before, if Marmol is still around after this horrific season and some of the horrible things that he did, starting with the Tyler O'Neill debacle, and there's still no hint that he could be in trouble, it just tells me that he's not calling the shots. That it's all coming from the front office. And to fire him would reveal that, they're the ones making the decisions that have gone so bad.
It's mind-blowing. I agree with zero criticism of Marmol like anywhere outside of the fan base. There's no articles written about. I mean, it ain't just we love the Cardinals. This is heaven's gates, and we're just going to write some fluff pieces toward the end of the year.
If someone
look at Rom, look at his pitching stat. Look at that stat line. That's what they're writing about. Not look at this disaster that's going on.
Maybe the lack of noise from the front office is because they know they cut off the spending Moselak was going to do because of the cable situation. That's from Larry Thornton. I think that there could be something to that.
It could be.
That certainly makes for dreadful talk radio, so it's not because it would explain it. But I wonder...
Although they had a team...
I don't know why they wouldn't say anything about that.
They had a team in place at the start of the season that they seemed to like.
Well, that they were promoting that they liked. We were talking in advance of the season about, they should win the Central, or at least be competitive. And then, at the trade deadline, theoretically, when they're in the mix, be in a spot to trade from ideally a surplus of position players to solidify the rotation. What confused me
And I remember having Buster Olney on, I guess it was on 101, and the hype around Jack Flaherty. I'm just like, I don't get the Jack Flaherty thing. I'm not against Jack Flaherty. I just, what has Jack Flaherty done recently that makes you think he is going to be this Cy Young guy? And then you pair that with Steven Matz, and
Michael.
It was just going. I don't get what the thought process was with the off season. But okay, I mean, especially overpaying 5 years. The initial talk on Contreras was everybody's wanting to offer him 3. He can't get 4 years. Cardinals took care of that. They're right. He didn't get 4 years. He got 5. So everything just, I don't know. I don't know what the hell went on. So I do wonder about the television thing. But at the same time, I would think that they would talk about that, because at the very least they could use it as an excuse.
Yeah.
Your thoughts are welcome. 314-881-TMA5. That's the EDF group text inbox, and you are welcome to get involved by texting in, by calling in 636-9004-TMA, or emailing in the morning after at InsideSTL.com. Illinois Recovery Center is the new premier inpatient substance abuse facility in Swansea, Illinois. When it comes to the disease of addiction, getting help should not be as difficult as it currently is. The Illinois Recovery Center's mission is to be the receiving hand in the community when someone seeks help. The IRC delivers a comprehensive system of care that welcomes both the individual struggling and family alike. If you or someone you know wants to learn about the Illinois Recovery Center, please call 888-472-9559 or email info@illinoisrecoverycenter.com. Doug, do we have a title sponsor? We do.
We do.
His name is Ryan Kelly, and he's online at thehomeloanexpert.com.
That's where he is, and he'd like to help you get out of credit card debt if that's what you've got. And a lot of people do with inflation sky high. A lot of people putting a lot of money on those credit cards, and then the bill comes in. They can't afford to pay it. The average credit card interest rate right now, over 24%, highest it's been in more than 30 years. And with inflation, people are carrying more debt than ever. Put that equity to work for you with a simple cash-out refinance. The average home loan expert reaches over $54,000. Receives that much on their refinance. I've refinanced twice with Ryan Kelly. I didn't get $54,000. I didn't want that much. I was paying off college tuition. You can pay off anything you want to with it, but first and foremost, get rid of that credit card debt. Let Ryan Kelly and his fabulous team of experts show you how to do that. Their loan officers, underwriting department, and closing departments have more than 1,000 years of combined experience in the mortgage industry. They hire only the top producing and most talented loan officers in the nation because you deserve the best. And that's what you get with Ryan Kelly and the Home Loan Experts. The website again, thehomeloanexpert.com.
There it is, Ryan Kelly, thehomeloanexpert.com, title sponsor of TMA for a decade. Get some work in today. Beautiful weather at Family Golf, online at familygolfonline.com, a par 3 course, double-decker driving range, and that short game area, plus some of the best instructors in the area, all under one roof. It's Family Golf and Learning Center. I love going out there and playing with my son, and I love going out there and just hitting balls and chipping and putting. It's Family Golf and Learning Center, and when the weather cools down, you can go inside in one of their 2 simulators. You can enjoy drinks and lunch or dinner at the Back 9 Bar and Grill right there at Family Golf and Learning Center, familygolfonline.com. It's 8:21 in St. Louis. Time to close out the Mug and Ask St. Louis Acura and Alton Toyota 7 o'clock hour. This is the Ryan Kelly Morning After from the Michelob Ultra Studios.
You're hearing TMA all day on KPNT HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis, featuring the Ryan Kelly Morning After, live from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Then a full show replay from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., followed by the best of TMA from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m., and another same-day replay starting at 10 p.m. Find the full schedule at TMASTL.com. Brought to you by Ryan Kelly at thehomeloanexpert.com, the most efficient mortgage process you'll ever experience. The Tim McKernan Show podcast, featuring long-form interviews with people from the world of sports, politics, and entertainment.
And our guest today, Bill McClellan. Thanks so much for coming in.
Hey, my pleasure, Tim.
What's up, Caden?
Hi, how are you?
Joe Buck, our guest today.
Man, it's like I haven't seen you in years.
More than 500 episodes and counting, and it's available wherever you get your podcasts, including the TMA STL app. Get the app now at TMASTL.com.
Biggie's Restaurant and Bar has been a staple of the community for over 30 years and is serving your favorites like the steak sandwich, waffle fries, and so much more. It's not just the food that's rocking. With a full bar and patio, Biggie's is the perfect spot for lunch, dinner, and a little laughter. Biggie's original hours are back. Open 11 a.m. till midnight, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And 11 a.m. till 1 a.m. on Friday and Saturday. Check out the full menu at biggiesrestaurant.com and stop in today.
Are you tired of practicing on a brown and patchy playing field? Say goodbye to the hassle and hello to the perfect solution. Introducing Clubhouse Turf, your one-stop destination for sport turf. Our sport turf is engineered for champions, providing a safe and high-performance playing surface for all your favorite games. Baseball, football, soccer, you name it. With Clubhouse Turf, every game becomes a legendary showdown. Don't wait any longer. Call us now at 314-834-2339 or visit us online at www.clubhouseturf.com. Clubhouse Turf. Elevate your game and make your dreams come true.
Hello, it's Jackson for Rosalita's. TMA listeners know that Rosalita's Cantina has the best patio and the best Tex-Mex in town. From tableside guac to piled high nachos, the amazing menu at Rosalita's is full of classic Mexican dishes. Plus, it's always time for a margarita, and Rosalita's has the most delicious house and specialty margs in town. Enjoy happy hour specials Monday through Friday from 3 to 6, and let Rosalita's cater your next event. Check out rosalitascantina.com or visit the downtown or DePere location today. Time to get your fiesta on at Rosalita's.
Here's Action Jackson with 3 more ways to get TMA content.
Watch TMA on YouTube. Click the bell to subscribe. Download the podcast. Find it at tmastl.com or wherever you podcast. And check us out on TikTok at TMASTL.
Thanks, Jackson. It's the Ryan Kelly Morning After on 105.7 FM HD2.
Okay. Hot takes.
Yeah.
Pepperoncini.
And now the Pepperoncini Show with Darren Atkins and Ken Stroh. All right, take it, fellas.
There it is. That's the open.
Pepperoncini.
We don't know what it is. We don't understand the name. We just know it's stupid. And it's available every weekday, featuring Iggy and the Plowboy. Apparently it's some kind of a podcast or something. Available at tmastl.com and on the TMASTL mobile app. Whatever.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. If you're like most folks, you probably added some credit card debt over the summer. Vacations, projects around the house, heck, just living costs an arm and a leg these days. Have you thought about a cash-out refinance? Maybe you think that mortgage rates are too high. Take a look at those credit cards. Most of them are in the 20% range. With a cash-out refinance, you can pay off your credit cards, save hundreds of dollars a month, and when mortgage interest rates come down, we will refinance your loan with no lender fees to save you even more money. And it doesn't stop there. If you're thinking about buying a new home, we've got you covered. Don't let today's mortgage rates be the reason that you don't make the move. Home prices have really started to come down, and there's some great deals out there. We already have some of the lowest rates in town. And when they drop, we will refinance your loan with no lender fees to get that payment nice and low. Get all your questions answered and get started on your new life today. TheHomeLoanExpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
Hey, this is Tim McKernan. I'm here with a great sponsor on TMA, and that is the Longo Biggs Injury Law Firm. But here is the thing. You hear injury law and you go, okay, well, that's all they do. But that is not necessarily the case.
Yeah, Tim, we also do workers' compensation cases, and those are obviously cases that comes from someone getting hurt while at work. But these cases are actually kind of tricky because workers' compensation cases are governed by their own set of laws, and they can be difficult to navigate. There's a lot of things people don't know. For instance, all your medical treatment has to be provided by your employer, and there's 2 different kinds of payments you need to be concerned about in a work comp case. One type is just getting paid for the time that you can't work, and the other is a settlement for the permanent injury that you have, which factors in various elements of your case, such as what body part and how severe it is. And this is where you need a knowledgeable work comp attorney to help you maximize your settlement. The insurance companies don't negotiate fair in these cases and don't settle for less if you're hurt at work. Visit our website or Google Longo Biggs Injury Law.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisement.
If you're like most folks, you probably added some credit card debt over the summer. Vacations, projects around the house, just living costs an arm and a leg these days. Have you thought about a cash-out refinance? Maybe you think that mortgage rates are too high. Take a look at those credit cards. Most of them are in the 20% range. With a cash-out refinance, you can pay off your credit cards, and when mortgage interest rates come down, we will refinance your loan with no lender fees to save you even more money. TheHomeLoanExpert.com. NMLS number 1326241.
The biggest pro football contests in Vegas are back, and bigger than ever with $14 million in guaranteed prizes only at Circus Sports. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere, 2 ways to win and no rake. Play Circa Million, make 5 picks against the spread each week with quarterly and full season payouts, or join Circus Survivor, where you select one team each week straight up. Last the longest to win it all. $14 million in guaranteed prizes. Visit circusports.com for details.
Do you want to support the EDF Group as a sponsor of TMA? Well, it's real simple. Do you have a fire extinguisher where you work? The answer is yes, you certainly do. So please email the EDF Group at fire@theedfgroup.com so a technician can come out and explain to your team how the EDF Group can save your company money. Again, that email address is fire@theedfgroup.com. The EDF Group is hot and will prevent your facility from having hot fires. Experience the EDF Group difference. Learn more at theedfgroup.com.
Urban Dictionary defines thirsty as purposely, knowingly, and recklessly attempting to gain fame to boost self-esteem. So, are you thirsty? Well, TMA has you covered. Become a part of the 2023 TMA Listener of the Month Club. You nominate yourself for a monthly award. And if you win, you get recognition and stuff to help you satisfy that insatiable thirst. We're talking January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, etc. Go to TMASTL.com or the TMA app. Give us your name, a photo, and other pertinent information. Tell us why you deserve to be TMA Listener of the Month. And if you don't want to use your real name or photo, we don't really care. The TMA Listener of the Month. Get recognized just for being you, or fake you, or whatever. Quenched by Milagro Tequila. Welcome to the brighter side of tequila with Milagro in the morning after on KPNT HD2. Hey, if you like the morning after, check out Balloon Party on 101 ESPN. HD1, by the way. It's Sports Talk with Tim McKernan and Action Jackson from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. each weekday, right after the morning after. It's the worst named show in the history of radio, but the content's pretty good, so check it out on 101 ESPN. Or get the podcast on the TMA app. Tim, Doug, Iggy, Plowsy, Action Jackson.
The Ryan Kelly Morning After, 105.7 HD2.
Yeah, this does put it in perspective. What's your perspective now?
Stop watching the news like me.
It just doesn't feel like things are going our way.
What's not?
Cardinals are 19 under. If we can just get hot, we can finish in 4th place.
Is that the low water mark of the year? 19 under?
Oh, yeah. 15.5 out of first. But we can catch the Pirates if we can get hot.
Thank you. It's the 8 o'clock hour here on the Ryan Kelly Morning After. We're in the Michelob Ultra Studios. Why don't you become a friend of the Feather and call in? Let's hear from the ladies on how things were at the clubs this weekend. Wouldn't that be nice? 636-9004 TMA.
What's the hottest club in town right now?
Jackson?
It's usually Wheelhouse.
Is it still?
If you're talking like straight club environment, I would say that's
been that way for a few years then, huh?
Yeah, I would say that certainly in the summer when you got baseball games downtown, more action going on downtown.
Filoni's is pretty hot.
That's a whole different crowd there.
No, that's 1B.
I don't suppose a whole lot of people in your age group are saying, hey, let's go to Filoni's now. Although I love Filoni's. I know the owners. They have great food.
Good pizza.
Yeah.
So we'll clear the phone lines, Doug, and let the ladies call in for their club stories.
Tales from Filoni's.
Yeah, that'd probably be more fun. Tales from Filoni's.
636-9004 TMA. Email in for our design, air, heating, and cooling email today. And, of course, text in the edfgroup.com. Text inbox, be a friend of the Feather, and text into the program anytime you would like. 314-881-TMA5. The text inbox is presented by the EDF Group, the most experienced data center and critical facility service provider in St. Louis. Check out the newly revamped website, theedfgroup.com, and take a look at each of the 3 divisions they have to offer. EDF Group, your one throat to choke for all your critical facilities, data center, commercial fire alarm, and electrical and IT infrastructure needs. To contact the EDF Group, email fire@theedfgroup.com. Experience the EDF Group difference and learn more at theedfgroup.com. Jackson and I will have a balloon party at 10 o'clock. Jackson, how do you feel about a QFTA today?
Strong.
You feel strong about it?
Big time.
We'll send them in then, because
Yeah.
Jackson's feeling strong. TMCKERNAN at InsideSTL.com. Any topic, welcome. And you get $100 if you can piss me off. I mean, that's just a great deal.
How are people trying to anger you at the moment?
Somebody threw one out that had a little merit to it, but it was a hypothetical. It's like if somebody accused me of cheating in a gambling setting for golf or something like that. I'm like, yeah, that's a hypothetical. Like, let's use real, non-hypothetical of your perception or something.
And if you do get angry, are you going to start yelling at them or what? How do we know that you're indeed upset?
It's a good question. It's a good question.
It's a question.
It is a question. Well, either way, I'll Venmo you $100. Yeah. Venmo's strong. That Lucas Glover money is paying for things right now.
Speaking of Glover, I can update our DraftKings final DraftKings of the year.
No? What happened?
If you'd like. I'll start with your team, Doug, because I think you, out of 39,000, I think you beat 2,000 people.
Well, I picked Victor Hovland, but you said, no, you
Victor
can't
Hovland
have him.
won.
I know, I picked him, and you said, no, I have him, you can't have him.
You couldn't fit him on your
The
team.
game's no fun. That's who I picked. I picked the winner.
You kept him, and then you couldn't fit him on your team, so you had to drop somebody, and you dropped him.
When you said, you got to drop Hovland because I have him. We can't have the same team.
Well,
you bullied me.
no, you could've-
bullied me.
you could've dropped-
bullied me into dropping Victor Hovland.
No, you still wouldn't have won.
How do you know?
Well, because you would have had to drop somebody else up there, and you would have lost.
You don't know that.
Well, you had Scotty Scheffler. He had a great weekend, 3 over par on the weekend. He did finish tied for 6th. Had Lucas Glover 18th. You had Morikawa 6th.
Yeah.
But here's your problem, Doug.
What's your
The
problem?
problem is I had Hovland, and you said, no, you can't have him. I have him.
Jordan Spieth finished 27th. Moore finished 29th. Nick Taylor finished 25th.
What happened to Jordan Spieth? He was going to be the next big, huge star.
Golf is now like flavor of the months now. Like I realized the Tiger dominance had its own problems to where it's the only guy winning. It was fun to watch, but now I feel like there's almost too much parity to where, like Scheffler now kind of falling off, Victor Hovland taking its place, Ricky kind of coming back, and then next year will kind of be, this guy is having a hot 2 months, and then this guy's having a hot 2 months. It's like nobody's ever really taking control.
Spieth was really dominant there for a year.
100%.
And now he's just a
dominant for 3
guy.
years.
He's just a face in the crowd now.
Well, you finished with 424 points, Doug. Then we'll go to my team as soon as it comes back up.
Nice. Oh, I like that.
Okay, just go ahead and hijack the show.
No, it's a sponsored segment.
Okay.
But then let's mention the sponsor. Munganess, St. Louis Acura, and Alton Toyota.
Jackson wasn't here, so he didn't do it. I did it. So that's why I'm reading it.
A shot?
No, but you can't read this who won because you didn't put him in this week. I did.
Okay, we assume you put in the right things.
Well, you know what I picked. Let's start off with my crap players. Again, I had Spieth 27th. I had Tom Kim, who had a good Sunday. He finished 20th. I had Sepp Straka, 14th. I had Tyrrell Hatton, who had 3 good days.
Do you say Tyrrell or do you say Tyrrell?
Tyrrell Hatton. He finished 16th. And then, Doug, I had Xander Schauffele, who finished 2nd. I had Victor Hovland, who won.
Okay, I had Hovland too until you said, no, you can't have him.
All right, let's just see if you'd had Hovland, Doug.
Yeah.
He had 130. He had 133 points. All right, I'll give you Hovland. Drop anybody else. I'll give you Hovland.
Okay.
He had 133. So even one of your crappy players had 40 points. You'd have picked up 90 points.
That would have been a whole different ballgame.
I had 577. You lost by 150 points.
That's close.
So even if you
Did you make any money for the children?
Yes, I made $20.
Okay.
I finished 341st out of 39,000.
Okay, finally.
So I made 20, made 0, and I think the yearly standings, I think I beat you by like 15. I think I've won 10 in a row.
I don't know. Maybe. There are some years I won.
I'm talking about this year, which is an ass-kicking on your part.
Overall, to win by just blindly pulling names
Thank you to Jamie Burkhardt for another year of DraftKings. And
Thank you, Jamie.
Any money we have left over will be going to a Gobble Bowl.
Money left over from what?
Well, we didn't lose $800. He put $400 in each of our accounts, and whatever's left over will go to Gobble Bowl. And he didn't. We didn't lose $800, so whatever's left in there. Jackson has a figure.
Okay, Jackson.
It's about $500.
Nice, look at that.
There you go.
Nice. Thank you, Jamie.
So $1,300's in the account? $500 profit?
Oh, no. $500 left. Net loss of about $300.
Oh, and you got to research.
Well, I probably won $200.
You got to pick your players.
No. I think like the yearly winning is in like the $40 range.
Oh,
yeah, because every week I win, Doug loses, and we break even. I got to make up for your losses.
Because even when you win, it's just $1 here or there.
You can't win $1 when you're playing a $5 game.
And you get to pick the players.
Yeah, so I win, and I got to cover your loss.
You don't always win.
I would say 90% of the cashes would be a net loss of $2 because they would usually be $8 wins.
Yeah, so I got to
If
make
only
up
I
for
could
Doug.
pick the teams that I wanted.
Why don't you do that next year? I'll let you pick your team, and you'll still get your ass kicked.
It's a sponsored segment. I won't tell you about the sponsor, but I will brag about my ability to beat a guy picking names out of a box. Be jealous, Doug. I made $20 this year. That's from the Table Rock Lake Monster.
Well, maybe Table Rock Lake Monster, if you'd have waited till the end of the segment. I did say thanks to Jamie Burkhart and Muggin Ass for, so we did thank the sponsor. So,
Is there a monster on Table Rock now?
I think so, yeah.
Go
That would
catch-
help tourism.
Go catch a bass or something.
I've had a lot of people go to Loch Ness to see the monster there, see Nessie.
I live on Table Rock. I caught a bluegill.
Now, who's saying that?
This hick.
Oh.
My fantasy football draft is tonight. Who should I draft first? Thanks. That's from Madison Hedgecock, Doug.
Oh.
He should be out at Norwood in a couple weeks.
Christian McCaffrey.
I have a draft tonight, too. We have the 101 ESPN. Jackson, you're not in that, or are you in that?
I think I'm in it. I don't know. I'm in too many leagues.
Did you Venmo BK?
I haven't yet, so maybe I'm not. And not like a shot. I just hate being in so many leagues. Like I like.
Yeah,
to
I don't really care.
Right.
So
yeah, I like to be in 2 leagues at most, and I'm in 2 leagues right now, so I'm happy if that's the number. If you're in a PPR league, you got to take Justin Jefferson first. That's the consensus.
Kirk Cousins calls him JJ.
Yeah, Jay Jettas. Yeah. If you're
Plowsy,
PPR.
you going to start that league you talked about?
Oh, the drug league.
I was actually, Doug, we're both invited to a league right now.
Oh, because Beer Cats messaged me saying if you were starting the league, he would like to be in it.
Beer Cats is in. Is this the drug league? Is the drug league coming back?
I guess.
No, but somebody...
I'm taking more drugs now than I ever have in my life.
Well, join it. If you don't want to get paid, that's the league to get in.
Oh,
there it is.
It's a promo.
Yeah, I found the guy who invited us to a league.
Just a guy?
Just a random
Bills
Well,
League?
I don't really want
Bills
to.
League.
I don't want to use like government name
That's
until
fair.
he calls me out, and then I'll just like,
And then you'll let him have it.
yeah,
Let him have it. He needs it.
He makes fun of the skeleton. That's when he gets exposed.
yeah. I gotta wait until he really pisses me off, and then I'll call him out on social media.
Oh, yeah, they always change their mind. They call you up, and they don't want to play in the league. Hey, buddy.
No, that guy I think is really nice.
What was the name of your benefactor that 1 year in fantasy baseball?
Oh, Tim, you know who?
I can't remember. I know producer Joe hated the guy.
Not Kidwell or something like that.
No, it was. I'm gonna. Somebody had got
And
to think of it.
he really barked at Joe.
Shock.
Don Fanucci or something?
Don Vanucci.
Oh, I hope somebody texted that in, man. It's a real big miss.
Yeah,
that
that
I
guy was
didn't
a burn producer Joe's saddle.
I just would love to be like next to Joe and he would get a text from this guy.
We drafted Kevin Gosman on accident.
about something.
And, I mean, we grilled Prod Joe for accidentally drafting a player.
What did you expect him to do at that point?
K-Bird.
K-Bird, thank
Bunch
you.
of people have texted in K-Bird. It's
Yeah.
so great that the audience
I love
remembers
the
the guys
audience
from our
so
fantasy
much.
baseball
Just
league.
love it so much. K-Bird.
I had a guy this weekend, speaking of people that trash you and then they
Okay.
reach out to you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Another segment that should be sponsored that is not.
Applause.
Well, back to you.
Applause, you're an idiot. You're the worst. Hey, you want to join my draft team? Just kidding, buddy. Yeah, I love you.
Just for the show.
I posted a picture this weekend.
How did this have to do with anything?
Well, if you wait, it'll tie in.
Okay.
He's playing the long game here.
The people, I was talking about the people that will trash you and then they reach out to you. Hey, Eggs, just kidding. Love you, man. Love the show. Got concert tickets? What did you just trash me 2 days ago? But I hadn't been outside enjoying coffee in a long time because it's been 120 degrees outside.
This is well worth it
So
already.
Saturday,
Payoff is money.
Saturday morning was like 74 degrees, a nice little breeze. I'm enjoying my coffee outside. So I took a picture of my coffee cup. First time I've been outside in a week. I love it, blah, blah, blah. And my niece said, we're doing the same thing. I responded, but you don't have 20 new neighbors standing all around you talking on their phone. Guy responded, yeah, it's odd. You bully that old lady to put your traffic cone because she's parking there, but you won't have the balls to stand up to these guys and say something. That's pretty simple. Block.
That's the story? That's the whole story?
Then I get a message. Then I get a message from a DM from this guy.
I'm glad I have amnesia so I can forget that story.
I'm glad we waited for it. I actually wish it was longer.
The guy DM'd me and said, "Why'd you block me? Are you too stupid to figure out why I blocked you?"
Can somebody DM you when they're blocked?
You certainly couldn't see
DM me
it.
on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
I blocked him.
So where did this all take? So it started on Twitter,
I think I put it on Instagram.
And then the guy reaches out to you on
Facebook. Why'd you block me?
Imagine having to go
Well,
to
first of all,
3
you called me a bully, said I didn't have the balls to stand up to somebody.
Why
did I block you? It's pretty simple, isn't it?
That's why you mute them. They never know.
Yeah, I don't know how to mute. I just block. It's easier.
Well, get your blocking in while you can, I think.
And I block him on Facebook, too, so he can't DM me.
Okay.
Nice.
There you go.
That story was just to take a shot at this fellow.
No, I brought up the point that Plowsy was invited to a league until he trashes me, and I said that's how they do it. They trash you until they want something. They reach out. Hey, just kidding, buddy. Love you. That's what they do.
Oh. And
So
he trashed your picture of your coffee
This
cup?
guy was wondering. No, I think he made fun of the. I told the story about the lady who nobody
All right, I'm
liked.
calling him out. His name Blake.
Oh, Blake.
Okay.
There you go.
Balake.
I don't know what this guy's name is. I blocked him and I can't remember.
Still waiting for this to tie into the story you interrupted. That's from Johnny Johnson.
I just tied it into the story I was telling. How about that?
Speaking of fantasy, though, I will say, me and Tim and old League Cookie are having ourselves a little barn burner in our last week of the season.
Oh.
I still have a backdoor chance of winning.
And how do you still win the? Is it the TMA
I have the
baseball league?
Yeah,
Is that
I have
what
the
it is?
tiebreaker over Ron Swanson. So if he
What is
beats
the
League
tiebreaker?
Cuck, I don't know, but on the standings, I'm ahead.
Oh,
so I think that
That's
already.
Joe. He knows all about those tiebreakers.
Yeah,
That's what got you sideways with producer
I
Joe as a
love that.
tiebreaker.
but yeah, that's a tie into another. I'm finally in.
I thought you
in the last
were
week.
I thought you said last week you were
I
mathematically
thought I
eliminated.
was, but League Cuck can get beat by Ron Swanson, and you
Doug,
can
if League
lose.
Cuck loses to Ron Swanson's
And
stash,
you lose to
and
It's
I
Vaughn.
lose.
And I beat 45-second Jackhammer.
Uh-huh.
I am tied for first with Ron Swanson,
Okay.
and I have the tiebreaker.
Okay.
So I would be.
And how much does that pay?
I think it's $600 or $800. I can't remember what
Is
it
it
is.
$600 or $800?
I don't know.
Joe would have to verify. No way to find out. Certainly not on the league page or anything.
And Joe's not right after the K-Berg incident.
That's right.
I can't believe I'm in the league after the Cape.
Isn't It's Vaughn the guy who was part of the old
Oh, there's some OGs in this
Inside
league.
STL message board?
There's some
yeah.
OGs, yeah.
It is.
God, that's a long time ago.
I love this league.
Guys, Ken uses speaking of as a way to talk about whatever the hell he wants. It's the old Power Hoosier bait and swee. What a beaut of a man. That's from Arbor Day.
Well, it's a nice little story.
I feel
I
like
liked
this
it.
is a thinly veiled shot at Steve and potentially myself because we will both DM Iggy from time to time telling him that we're fans and we don't mean no harm. Don't you like that? We don't mean no harm.
Let's use better grammar,
Bearcats
folks.
over here?
Who was that from?
Oh, that's from Mr. Licks.
Oh.
Stephen D.C. has never DM'd me.
Stephen D.C., the old radio show here in town. They're in Alabama
Stephen
now.
Ball's up Park Village, wherever he's from.
Saw him at Evolution Fest. He bought me a beer.
He's never
Great
DM'd me.
gentleman.
He's never DM'd being nice to me. And either of you, Lick, so you're lying about both of them.
Block him.
So Mr. Licks does not DM you.
He's never DM'd me.
Wow. There
Block
it
him.
is.
Block him.
He is blocked. That's probably why he can't DM me.
Well, unblock him.
No one, and I mean no one, asked to hear about a coffee picture from the breezeway and the subsequent DMs. Gatesworth him! That's from
Oh,
Carlos Spicy Wiener.
gosh.
No one has ever asked me to tell a story.
That's actually a really funny quote.
Iggy, can you tell us about something you posted this weekend? Nobody's asking me to do anything. I just speak.
Maybe you can earn a scholarship to Gatesworth.
One of those partial, like, paid by 40%.
He took NIL money.
Maybe I should look at Gatesworth. I had a leaking problem Saturday in my
What was leaking?
Oh, man, that could have been
the water
dangerous.
heater, I'm guessing. And came out Saturday evening, said he fixed it. But normally they'll give you they'll bring somebody in that'll extract the water and then put a fan there, one of those big energy fans, industrial fans to dry it out, but they didn't have any, so I had to do it myself.
Yeah.
And then yesterday afternoon, walk into the bathroom and whoop, looks like the Everglades. 4 new puddles.
Gators?
So I couldn't text him yesterday afternoon because there's no maintenance guy on a Sunday. He'd have to come from Potosi or wherever the maintenance guys live on the weekend. So I had to do it this morning. He said, yeah, I got not fixed. I had to slosh through the hallway to get to my bathroom.
Oh, gosh. And the water's coming from underneath the floor?
I don't know if it's all the new people that moved in. They're taking 100 showers and screwing up everybody's water heaters. I don't know.
Any chance you can get out of the lease?
Oh, if you put pen to paper, they do not let you out of that thing.
I signed it, so if I get out of it now, I got to pay. So
yeah,
it's just something that happened.
You should never have signed that lease.
I share Doug's sentence.
Never.
Well, if I had found a place in Maryland Heights where I wanted to live, I would have, but
well,
they were
keep
not
looking.
open.
Creve Coeur would have been close to where you work, too.
Yeah, it's like the landlords, once you get the name on the dotted line, they don't care about your life story after that. Like anything that's happening, if that rent ain't in the mail, you out.
Hey, things happen. I mean,
I hate that.
Water heaters break, but what's annoying is that he said it was fixed. And then Sunday, it's even more puddles. So.
Well, what you do is send maintenance out there all the time to piss them off. If they're pissing you off, how you can do it is make them fix every single little thing in your apartment. Because on the lease, they have to. So, that's how you get them.
I know.
Oh, I have a little smudge on my wall. Can you come and repaint? Like, I would make their lives hell.
That's why I'm a good tenant, because I don't bother with things like
that.
If it's something I can fix myself, I fix it myself. You know? I don't call them for every little thing.
Oh, I would do that.
But this is a big thing because I'm walking. My pants legs are wet from walking around this morning.
Oh, now this hovel that you live in is flooded.
Right after the lease is signed, they decided to flood you out, man.
Well, the good thing with the water heater broke and leaking is that it killed the family of crickets that was living in that closet. So.
Drown the crickets.
It kind of sounds like obviously you had to sign that lease with all these features.
You got crickets running around your apartment?
Every morning I walk.
You live in a log cabin.
Just.
It is sounding more like the Everglades the more you describe it.
God,
you're unhappy there. You got a tree, you got a possum who sits in
the
a
sports?
chair.
Are they great?
You got birds that poop, you got too many neighbors sitting on your chairs, and yet you still re-upped.
Yeah, it's not going to be fun.
Why'd you sign the damn lease?
Yeah, it's my fault. That doesn't mean I can't complain every once in a while. Just let off some steam.
Was there not another unit in the apartment complex?
No, I'm hoping that he comes in today and looks at it and says, we're going to have to tear this up like you did my old apartment. And say you're going to have to move to another one. Fine. Find me one down there with no trees. I'll move another 50 yards. I don't care.
Well, you cared the day before it was time to sign the lease. We suggested you go somewhere else since you're so unhappy with this place.
I couldn't find one, and I had no choice. I had to let them know. So if I said, okay, I'm leaving, and then I can't find another apartment, I'm stuck. So,
I see some massive apartment buildings being built in the Chesterfield area.
Yeah, so do I, for like $2,000 a month.
Is that what they are?
Yeah. You want to pay for my apartment, I'll move someplace else.
That'd be a good deal.
Again, my fault. That's not anybody else's fault. I'm not blaming anybody. It's just stuck where I am.
What are you paying now for this place?
Too much.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Well, they raised my rent $180 in 1 year. That's
a lot.
That's what I wasn't happy about.
Yeah.
Lord used to do that $25 at a time.
You know, and the problem is that they compare it to other apartments in Maryland Heights, and that was the thing they gave me. They said, well, it's comparable to other apartments. I said, yeah, but the other apartment is like 3 years old. This apartment was built in 1972. You can't compare this apartment to the other ones. She says, yes, yours is more because you have a patio. And I sent her a picture of the seagull crapped.
Seagulls?
I said, I pay extra for this? I can't use it. That's all right, just my fault. You know, there's nice people there, so.
Well, now I think you're being sarcastic about the nice people.
No, I'm not. I've always gotten along with everybody who works there. Maintenance people.
Not the people who stole your pork chops?
Office people. Well, nothing I can do about that. I did barbecue a pork chop, which pork chops take, a big, thick pork chop on the grill take like 15, 20 minutes. I said, well, I'm not going inside. There's too many new neighbors there. I'm just going to sit here until this thing's done.
There's pork thieves.
Well, they're using everybody else's patio tables. They don't know. So I decided I'll sit here. Maybe they see it cooking. Oh, a community pork chop. Pew.
Oh, gosh.
Community pork chop.
Yeah. They think everything else is community, so it's community pork chop. Yeah. Hey,
there's a title of this segment.
Community pork chop?
Mm-hmm. Community pork chop. I mean, I hate to walk back out there and see two guys with a fork fighting over it.
It'd be funny if that was one of the features where any grill was up for grabs in this entire apartment.
If somebody's grilling, that food's up for grabs.
Well, I told you they used my table and chairs. I had to put my chairs away, but my upstairs.
Were they having dinner out there?
Yeah, because I had some remnants of food on the table.
You left food out there?
No, they ate their own food on the table.
Oh.
But my neighbors on the third floor, they both have tables and little chairs out. They don't have a patio. They have like a little nook. And the new neighbors are all sitting in their 2 chairs.
So they go upstairs
chairs.
now?
No, they lived up there. There's 2 new families up there. And they were all just using their 2 patios, having lunch. And I tell them, no, you can't sit here. This isn't yours. You're over there. I felt the same way.
I think maybe I would have gotten a second job so that you could afford a nicer place to live. Is that just off the table completely?
Yeah.
Okay. Because you like to bartend.
I'm at an age where I'm ready to retire if I had any money. I'm looking for a second job.
But, I mean, you like to bartend and you like to make tableside Caesar salad.
Cove. I don't want to wait on people anymore.
I think you would be great.
Oh, I'd be miserable. I'm sorry, I didn't order this. Yes, you did. I don't care if you eat it or not, but I'm not taking it back because that's what you ordered.
Some of these part-time jobs at, like, Target and QT, some of them pay $20 an hour.
I'd be perfect in there.
I'm trying to come up with a solution.
Well, stop. I'm not taking another job.
Yeah, if I'm working at Target, you can send me to like the very back of the area, and I'll just stock shelves and peaceful.
See, I don't think those would be the worst places in the world to work. I mean, there's some energy there. There's some people watching. It's a clean environment to be in. You're not digging ditches out in the weather somewhere.
Why don't you go work there?
Go to Six Flags. I'd do a part-time gig at Six Flags. Work the boss.
Yeah, there's lots of part-time gigs you could get to bring in a little bit more money.
Oh, it is pretty sad after 32 years in radio that I'm actually talking about I needed a second job. God almighty, I'm so messed up.
Tim, real talk. Have you ever had your salad tossed while bent over on all fours with a coked-up girl tugging on your trombone so hard that you erupt like one of EDF Group's fire extinguishers? No?
EDF Group?
Well, get ready to live. That's from the Recovering Alcoholic.
That was how real talk.
He dragged his own company into it.
Real talk.
The salad tossing man. That's what they call him, Doug. Chris Rock.
That's his nickname?
He was a guy in prison on the HBO show. It wasn't Oz. It was something inside of it. It was a documentary on prison life. And Chris Rock told the story of a gentleman tossing salad. And now, years later, probably 25 years later, it has been brought into the mainstream. And apparently, amongst at the very least Jackson's generation, a regular occurrence in what percentage of sexual encounters would you say, Jackson, for your peers? Not you. Not you. I know you're a man in love or a man potentially in love, but just in general, 25-year-olds, give or take, 3 years either way, 28 to 22. What percentage of sexual encounters involve salad tossing?
I'll go with 12%.
Yeah, see, Doug?
Wow.
And I'm telling you, that's got to be 5 times higher than 25 years ago. Chris Rock made salad tossing a part of American sexuality. It's fun to see.
I should have asked the questions on Fremont Street about the the advent of salad tossing or the return to glory that it seems to be having. It's kind of like how loose pants, how baggy pants are coming back into style.
Oh.
Salad tossing is also coming back into style. And I wonder what that's about. Salad tossing?
Yeah.
No.
Apparently, and maybe not in like the mainstream consciousness, but certainly in certain avenues of life, certain walks of life.
Probably the same people who drop a steak on the floor for 2 seconds and throw it away are then turning around and tossing a salad.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I bleached this yesterday. It's like, oh, come on, man.
It's not there might be some bacteria on the food. No, I think I'll toss it.
Now, there was salad tossing in Oz.
We ain't talking Wizard then, right?
No,
not the
Oz,
Wizard of Oz.
Oz was a prestige television.
Oh, I have no idea. Like, I was like, whoa, I thought...
Doug, was J.K. Simmons in that? And was he eating ass?
And he was.
He played a very nice character.
He played one of the newbies who he took under his wing. He took a hot pen and he put a swastika on his guy's butt and then tossed a salad.
Tough.
Well, he was a white supremacist Nazi lover in the.
So definitely not Wizard
in
of Oz.
Oz.
No. Nope.
Salad tossing gets a bad rep, but it really is an erogenous zone. Lots of nerve endings down there. An entire playground. Some are leaving out there unexplored. Be progressive. That's from KG Notat.
Yeah. I'm not like, we don't kink shame at all.
I do.
What about if you have hemorrhoids? Are you still able to?
Oh.
Is that just like
That's a good
adding
question.
crouton to the salad? Like it makes it a little more difficult to eat, but still
More like
Cherry on
tomatoes.
flavorful.
More like tomatoes.
I'm not sure. I'm not even sure that's a kink. That's just a preference.
Yeah, I think it's kink adjacent.
I mean, reverse
Well, it's on the
cowgirl's
same
not a
block,
kink.
for
That's
sure,
a preference. So you
In
want
the
to
same
stick your
cul-de-sac.
tongue up somebody's butt. That's a preference. That's not a.
Is it up or in?
Both.
I guess it depends on the angle. Yeah. I guess if
I think
like
it's
the
kind
guy's
of. I'll
hovering
kink
over
shame
you.
if you call it a kink, because I think it's gross.
Yeah, now you're kink shaming.
I'm just
That's
waiting.
okay too.
Well, I will kink shame that because that's not. I don't think that's a kink. I think it's a preference.
It's almost like throwing like a rock into like a volcano that hasn't erupted in like 10 years. It's just you're playing with fire
You're
and you're
asking for
almost
it.
like waiting for that eruption and explosion. It's like
Sexual
well, there goes
Prometheus.
that vacation. So yeah, I've been too much of a ticking time bomb for myself.
Now I
But
find
if there's money involved, you could count me into just about anything.
Oh, really?
Now I find the emails about that hilarious.
Emails about the.
Yeah, it's about Zane's.
I thought you meant you were getting like emails from like
no.
ass eating like monthly or something.
No,
like,
the Dotem emails about tasting Zane's waist.
Taste the waste. It's a great addition to the show, anyways. Deke Dotem, I think.
Oh.
I just wonder what spurred the popularity of it. You know,
Who says it's popular?
I don't think it's popular.
Who says it is?
it just seems like it's being talked about a lot.
Well, it's popular when Tim pulls up a porn and he says he seems to see that all the time. It's maybe popular
Is
in
it a porn?
But
I don't
people
think
are
it's
talking
popular,
about
but I
it.
don't think it's popular. Well, they
Who's
talk about a lot
talking
of
about
things
it
on the
other
show.
than us?
People are out there. They're
not
having cups of coffee in breezeways and they're eating ass.
They aren't.
Ass eating is like the In-N-Out
There's never
burger.
been ass eating in my breezeway.
It's popular because people say it's popular. Jesus.
You draw the line
Duh.
there.
No, nobody's talking about it.
I never hear it in polite
Because
conversation.
I think people would be embarrassed to talk about it. They may
You would
enjoy
think.
it, but I think they'd be embarrassed to say, you know what I enjoy? I enjoy somebody licking my butt.
Clip that off.
There's no way that people are talking about that.
I can tell you firsthand, people are absolutely talking about it.
They aren't.
Find me one. Bring them on the show.
Well, if I bring them on, you're just going to say that they're not telling the truth.
Well, where are they
I've played this
talking
game
about
before.
it? Where are they talking about this?
Like people like are having conversation. I don't know what to tell you. I would be in college and people were like, they ate ass, and that was like a thing.
Oh.
It was like a thing. I don't know what to tell you.
I'm all in. I can't believe that.
Iggy has moved his chips in the middle,
Well, I don't
Jackson.
have a metric. Like I want me to do like a straw poll out there. Like,
Yeah, maybe like a Gallup poll.
I just can't see college kids talking about ass eating.
Well, it happened. Unless I wouldn't come out here and lie.
Could you be mistaken?
Were there girls eating the guy's ass, or was it just gay stuff?
What?
It ain't gay.
Could they have been talking about bass
Completely
eating,
not
like
gay,
sea
I mean.
bass and
No.
Well, if two guys are
bass
eating
they
each
caught
other's
at the
butt,
lake.
it's gay.
I don't think so.
I'm just curious who you're sitting around the dorm talking about ass eating.
with a bunch of scholars.
It wasn't at like a dorm, was it?
What'd you get on your trig test? I don't know, but I got my ass eaten last night.
Oh.
No one
Let's
asked about what
discuss.
you did on your tests in college. I don't-
I'd be in the fraternity house. Guys were like, yeah, she ate my
that
ass.
I can believe.
I don't know what to tell you.
bit
I'm
more.
just
I
telling
think
you
that's-
those conversations were going on.
Don't you think that's just guys trying to be funny?
Maybe.
Just exaggerating.
But either way, the conversation is happening, so we can't ignore it. That's what I'm trying to say. And I'm
Brad and
wondering.
Boca with a good theory here, Jackson. Eating girls, Doug, tossing salad, started to become more prevalent the same time as Brazilian waxes became more prevalent. That's from Brad and Boca. I think he might have something there. I think he might have found a nice, would you call that a data point?
I don't know what I'd call it.
I think that's very much just the whole grooming phenomenon, you know, everything being a little bit more taken care of, probably opened up the door, quite literally and figuratively, for more salad tossing.
Like, our founding fathers probably didn't engage.
Right.
Oh, yeah, right. Those guys were
because
freaks,
of the
man.
because of the tufts. But perhaps like James K. Polk was maybe the first president to toss salad.
I have a theory on the salad tossing for the founding fathers. It's very simple.
What?
Like they were used to like the smell. So like I get like the matted tuft, but like now you have to be perfectly shaved clean. Maybe a bleach situation have to go on. Obviously, maybe a freshener of like any kind of smell. Back then, they didn't have trash pickup, right? Like I mean, they're used to like just raw sewage in the streets and like people dumping out poop and pee like on the street. So like I think they were well more prone to ass eat because they're already used to like
It's interesting. It's an interesting
dysentery.
theory.
It's not that
it's
interesting.
Like scurvy, like all that. They've already
Scurvy's completely unrelated.
I'm just bringing up
What
like
about the
illnesses that they
hepatitis?
were.
What about the hepatitis you're going to get?
They can get it. They have a shot then, right? They have a hep shot.
I doubt it.
Well, it's the risk you take, but in terms of the smell
it's
and the
worth
tufts,
it though. It's worth it.
It's
though.
not worth it.
Yeah, I wouldn't say any of it. It's not worth it now. You got a ton of products you can use.
Tim, these olds are all out of touch. The ass-eating talk absolutely happens. It's almost ass-eating season, by the way. That's from Dillian Harpoon.
I don't buy it. I don't.
It's a hot topic, man. People are out there discussing it.
I don't know who's discussing.
Okay, guys, here's a hypothetical. Let's say you go to, like, Brown University. How much brown does a brown man eat that's from Shrimply Pibbles?
Let's say you go to Brown.
Guys, do you think the founding fathers had powdered wig merkins? That's a big top.
It'd be more appropriate if they went to Tufts University.
With little curls on them.
Oh, Bill.
Tufts and Brown.
What were they thinking with those wigs exactly? What
It's a
was
good question.
What was the
They were
idea
all
behind
bald, and they had to look more
that really what it was?
prestigious.
Is
They
that
look
really
They
what
couldn't
it
have been all bald.
They look like hobbits, man. All those guys are like 4'12".
I know that the old English judges used to wear those kind of wigs. I wonder if that was a status thing. Where,
Yeah, probably.
Look, I'm just like the
Yeah.
aristocracy in England.
Yeah, you had to have status to where the commoners didn't wear them.
Now in JFK, when they were all dipped in Gould.
Yeah, Joe Pesci, Doug.
Yeah, dipped in
They're
Gould.
wearing powdered wigs. It's like
Yeah, that made it hotter.
yeah. I can't remember what the
Joe Pesci was
so
dressed up like a
bizarre.
Victorian lady, and Kevin Bacon, I think. No, it was Tommy Lee Jones was dipped in gold.
Tommy Lee Jones was dipped in Gould, wearing like some sort of like Hercules hat.
And
Like
Kevin Bacon was playing the role of Mary.
he was twisting someone's nipple.
I bet when they took this role, they said, "You didn't show me this scene when I signed. You didn't tell me I had to do this."
Pesci seemed into it. I hate.
I don't know.
Doug, I mean, I think that was the same year Joe Pesci was playing the role of, what was his character in Goodfellas? It was right around the same
Nicky
time.
Santor. No, that was
that was
Casino.
Casino.
He was playing. It was Henry
Tommy?
Hill.
Was it Tommy?
Tommy, yeah, Tommy. I can't remember his last name.
All right.
But that was
Tommy.
90. I think JFK was 91.
Doug, is that right?
I don't know
Goodfellas
the
90.
years, Tim.
Goodfellas 100% 90.
But don't you think they had a hard time to keep from laughing when they're dressed up in these outfits and they got to have a serious scene, and you're looking at someone and he's dipped in gold?
And then you have to.
How
twist
do you
his
keep
nipple.
a straight face in a serious movie?
Because the guy next to you is playing with your nipples.
Yeah.
At some point, you got to walk off set and say, "I'm not doing this."
And later
you
in the
can't
movie,
make me.
there's a Pruger film plays for the first time, like with a wide delta.
Guys, they did not wash their hair back then. This was so they looked presentable. That's from Professor Roy Hinckley.
Oh, I'm sure that.
Yeah, I want that John Adams.
Well, most
Pretty
people were out in the farm somewhere working all the time, so it wasn't a factor. But I'm sure some of the elites in the cities were probably washing daily and everything.
Oh, that smell.
Everybody says they're because of STDs. We're getting a bunch of texts about that. That's why they wore powdered wigs, because of STDs.
How would that help on the top of your head?
These are the guys we looked up to, the ones who couldn't shower and have just STDs at like 30. These are the guys.
Here, I got some information for you.
Here we go. We have the information.
Most of the founding fathers were like early 20s.
Yeah.
I know, right? That is wild.
People who wore them, powdered wigs, are among the elites in society. The first wigs were made from goat and horse hair, and because they were never properly washed, they smelled quite terrible and tended to attract lice. To combat the unfortunate odor and unwanted parasites, the wig wearer would powder his wig.
Yeah, I said it was for the elites.
Right, so
You
they
didn't see
wore
the
it as a
poor people
status
doing it.
symbol, but they smelled terrible.
Wouldn't you
because
think if they smelled, you might go down to a river or a lake and wash them so they don't smell?
I just assume everyone did
But
smell
that's where
back
you just
then.
seen your neighbor defecate.
Well, that's where you salad toss, is right by the defecation station.
That's not going to smell any better. I mean, the women did have perfume in there. They could have thrown some of that in there.
Well, they did have clean water.
I bet
They were
that
drinking
perfume
clean
smelled like
water
trash,
somehow.
Too.
Yeah, I mean, that's how there were no showers. That's how, women would. They had baths, I think, but there was no soap or anything. They just kind of splashed around in the water.
Soap?
No, soap wasn't invented back then.
Yes, it was.
Soap's made of animal fat. They could have had that for a
You
long
couldn't pay
time.
me to live back then, man.
But 200 years from now, people will look back and say, 2023, you couldn't pay me to live then.
Well, I agree.
Kidding
We're
me?
terrible, but I'm talking like the smell back then. I'm not talking about the personalities.
Well, the smell. They didn't have electricity. And then the women had to put on all those things. What do you think it'd just be? I mean, you had to put on that big thing that like stretched out. And then you put on the dress, and that stretched out. You had the thing you tied in the back as tight as it could.
Of course, it's just a fancy one.
Are you
I'm
even
sure,
going to be
just for
horny by the
parties
time
and
she
things.
gets naked? It's like 30 minutes of her taking her clothes off.
Yeah, it wouldn't take
all right,
much
honey,
to put
I'm
all that
sorry.
on and say,
I'm sure that was
how
those are
about just a T-shirt and a nice pair of slacks? Can we wear that?
That's probably what most people wore. But you're talking about people going to enormous, big parties and the upper crust, going to Washington. That's where you get that image from. The average person wasn't walking around those
Yes,
dresses.
they were. They all had to wear that little trestle.
I don't think so.
Jim Tressel
I
wore
don't
a
think
vest.
so.
That was a great vest.
Most Americans were living in a rural setting back then, and I'm sure they weren't walking out with these huge dresses.
Now watch
They
Bridgerton.
did.
Watch Gilded Age.
Yeah, watch.
These aren't documentaries.
Watch Outlander.
Doug, watch all these shows right
you're
now.
telling me
The lady's working on the farm with that big dress sticking out.
Well, it's a TV show.
Well,
there might have been some did that, but I'm sure most of them were quite casual.
Outlander was from a lot of real
It's not
things.
a documentary. It's a TV
It was a lot.
show.
They took a lot of real things from that time period and put it into the show. And the lady would come out to milk the cows, and she got that big trestle on the dress hanging out there.
You think Jim Tressel was like the hottest coach in the Big Ten through the aughts?
It's a good question, and right on point. He had a nice vest game.
How about a hijacking sound there?
Yeah, that was a hijacking.
Jackson, apologize.
I'm sorry. I have to think.
No,
That
I'm fine
vest.
with it, but, how about throwing that hijacking thing at somebody else every once in a while?
Oh, it's a shot blouse.
I like Tressel's vest. I did. Whatever happened to him? Where is he now?
He's the president of Youngstown State University.
Oh, really?
Nice. Doug, Michelob Ultra is a studio sponsor. 95 calories, 2.6 grams of carbohydrates. Did did Dogtown Tie play Kevin Roth this weekend? Doug, I know you were going to go. Did it happen?
I didn't go.
In the Michelob Ultra J. Randolph Jr. Fan Page Club Championship.
Nobody's told me, and the trophy's right here, so.
Sitting here, okay, so nobody has won yet. And then you can check out Andrea's afterwards. Maybe celebrate your championship at Andrea's Steakhouse. It is located off of Collinsville Road in O'Fallon, Illinois. And that barbecue sauce, I think I had it 3 different meals this weekend. That's how many times I enjoy Andrea's barbecue. I have that chicken all the time. But
I had it on my pork chop.
That's so good, isn't it? The Andrea's barbecue sauce, Andrea's steak sauce. It's Andrea's.com where you can get it, or you can go get it at Schnucks or Deerberg's. Andrea's Steakhouse, Andrea's barbecue sauce, Andrea's Steakhouse. All right, we'll wrap up the 8 o'clock hour, come back with the Design Air Heating and Cooling email today. Jackson and I will deal with the situation down the hallway at 10 o'clock. It's called Balloon Party, driven by Munganess, St. Louis Acura, Alton Toyota. This is the Ryan Kelly Morning After.
Hey, this is Tim McKernan. I am here with a wonderful sponsor of TMA, and that is Longo Biggs Injury Law Firm. And this is something that I experienced, as a matter of fact, years ago. If you get a call from an insurance agency, if you were in an accident, they are not necessarily working on your side. Isn't that right?
Yeah, Tim. I mean, in almost every case, there's going to be an insurance company involved. You know, they typically insure whoever caused the injuries to you by the person or the business that caused it. And unfortunately, from the moment your case begins, the insurance company is actually working against you, trying to minimize their payout. You might get a call from like somebody who seems like to be a really nice person who's just trying to see how you're doing, but their goal is actually to get some information out of you to turn around and use it later to show that you're not as hurt as you actually are. Insurance companies have specialized systems and thousands of workers who follow a playbook to pay you as little money as possible when you're hurt. This is Doug Biggs, and my injury law firm hates insurance companies and their deceitful tactics, and we'll make a fair fight out of it. Visit our website or Google Longo Biggs Injury Law.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. If you're like most folks, you probably added some credit card debt over the summer. Vacations, projects around the house. Heck, just living costs an arm and a leg these days. Have you thought about a cash-out refinance? Maybe you think that mortgage rates are too high. Take a look at those credit cards. Most of them are in the 20% range. With a cash-out refinance, you can pay off your credit cards, save hundreds of dollars a month, and when mortgage interest rates come down, we will refinance your loan with no lender fees to save you even more money. And it doesn't stop there. If you're thinking about buying a new home, we've got you covered. Don't let today's mortgage rates be the reason that you don't make the move. Home prices have really started to come down, and there's some great deals out there. We already have some of the lowest rates in town. And when they drop, we will refinance your loan with no lender fees to get that payment nice and low. Get all your questions answered and get started on your new life today. TheHomeLoanExpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
Hello, it's Jackson for Rosalita's. TMA listeners know that Rosalita's Cantina has the best patio and the best Tex-Mex in town. From tableside guac to piled high nachos, the amazing menu at Rosalita's is full of classic Mexican dishes. Plus, it's always time for a margarita, and Rosalita's has the most delicious house and specialty margs in town. Enjoy happy hour specials Monday through Friday from 3 to 6, and let Rosalita's cater your next event. Check out rosalitascantina.com or visit the downtown or DePere location today. Time to get your fiesta on at Rosalita's.
Urban Dictionary defines thirsty as purposely, knowingly, and recklessly attempting to gain fame to boost self-esteem. So, are you thirsty? Well, TMA has you covered. Become a part of the 2023 TMA Listener of the Month Club. You nominate yourself for a monthly award. And if you win, you get recognition and stuff to help you satisfy that insatiable thirst. We're talking January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, etc. Go to TMASTL.com or the TMA app. Give us your name, a photo, and other pertinent information. Tell us why you deserve to be TMA Listener of the Month. And if you don't want to use your real name or photo, we don't really care. The TMA Listener of the Month. Get recognized just for being you, or fake you, or whatever. Quenched by Milagro Tequila. Welcome to the brighter side of tequila with Milagro in the morning after on KPNT HD2. The Tim McKernan Show podcast, featuring long-form interviews with people from the world of sports, politics, and entertainment.
And our guest today, Bill McClellan. Thanks so much for coming in.
Hey, my pleasure, Tim.
What's up, Caden?
Hi, how are you?
Joe Buck, our guest today.
Man, it's like I haven't seen you in years.
More than 500 episodes and counting, and it's available wherever you get your podcasts, including the TMA STL app. Get the app now at TMASTL.com.
Are you tired of practicing on a brown and patchy playing field? Say goodbye to the hassle and hello to the perfect solution. Introducing Clubhouse Turf, your one-stop destination for sport turf. Their sport turf is engineered for champions, providing a safe and high-performance playing service for all your favorite games. Baseball, football, soccer, you name it. With Clubhouse Turf, every game becomes a legendary showdown. Don't wait any longer. Call them now at 314-834-2339 or visit them online at clubhouseturf.com. Clubhouse Turf. Evaluate your game and make your dreams come true.
I'm Tim McKernan here with Action Jackson talking to you about Mark Hanna. TMA listeners have a lot to think through financially, whether it be saving up for their child's education or planning for their own retirement and everything in between.
Whether you're like me and just getting started with your financial planning or you're already retired, call Mark Hanna.
It all starts with a 15-minute phone call to discuss your needs and design the right strategy for you and your future.
Visit evergreenstl.com or give Mark a call at 314-889-0503 today. Mark Hanna offers securities through Equitable Advisors and insurance and annuity products through Equitable Network, LLC.
When we think of a real estate agent, we think of somebody simply selling our home or finding us a new one. I mean, they're all the same, right?
Okay, here's the comps. We'll take some pics, we'll post them, and I'll get back to you, okay?
A home is life-changing, and your real estate agent should reflect that. Honesty, integrity, and someone who will go above and beyond to make your dreams come true.
The Jeff Lotman Group with Compass Realty. We're different because you're different. We want what you want. Experience the difference today at jefflotman.com, bringing people and properties together.
Illinois Recovery Center is the new premier inpatient substance abuse facility in Swansea, Illinois. When it comes to the disease of addiction, getting help should not be as difficult as it currently is. The Illinois Recovery Center's mission is to be the receiving hand in the community when someone seeks help. The IRC delivers a comprehensive system of care that welcomes both the individual struggling and family alike. If you or someone you know wants to learn about the Illinois Recovery Center, please call 888-472-9559 or email info@illinoisrecoverycenter.com.
fire@theedfgroup.com.
Do you want to support the EDF Group as a sponsor of TMA? Well, it's real simple. Do you have a fire extinguisher where you work? The answer is yes, you certainly do. So please email the EDF Group at fire@theedfgroup.com so a technician can come out and explain to your team how the EDF Group can save your company money. Again, that email address is fire@theedfgroup.com. The EDF Group is hot and will prevent your facility from having hot fires. Experience the EDF Group difference. Learn more at theedfgroup.com.
You're hearing TMA all day on KPNT HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. Featuring the Ryan Kelly Morning After, live from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Then a full show replay from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Followed by the best of TMA from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. And another same-day replay starting at 10 p.m. Find the full schedule at TMASTL.com. Brought to you by Ryan Kelly at thehomeloanexpert.com. The most efficient mortgage process you'll ever experience.
The Ryan Kelly Morning After.
KPNT FM HD2.
Collinsville, St. Louis.
It's Ryan Kelly Morning After. Welcome back, 9 o'clock hour here. Like how I hit the post there on the percussion?
Oh, you're the best, Tim.
Thank you. I hadn't heard that yet today, and I needed to. I'm super insecure. James Carlton's in studio, Michelob Ultra Studios. Hey, James, what's the word?
Good morning, guys. Game week.
Fight. Tiger.
Doug's fired up about that video.
Coyote.
Yeah.
Do you think that was a parody?
You know, I scrolled it. I didn't really lock into it. So you guys broke it down pretty well in the 7 o'clock hour. I'll go with the consensus here.
Not. I don't know.
It's got to be a gag. It's so bad. It has to be a gag. It has to be a bad joke.
Yeah, maybe it is. Maybe it is. I don't know.
Will you listen to some of that advice and lock arms with your neighbors?
No, I never really understood the kids doing the keys. Like, it's just like showing off, hey, we're all hammered, here's our keys. Like, you can't hear the keys. You know, in the kickoffs, they'd hold up the keys?
I hadn't seen that, no.
Yeah, I don't get that. You know,
winning football games would be like, that should be what rule number one is. And after that, you can do whatever you want, because winning's the most important.
No, I thought the tiger stripe outfits based on the section you're in. That works for me. That could be Mizzou's
How do you feel about
thing.
that, James?
Well, I remember when they first, at least the first time I remember, it was probably 14 or so against Vanderbilt, and it looked awesome. When it's packed and everybody's participating, it looks good. Now you're, against South Dakota, I'm not sure if everybody's going to be locked in on the right colors and if it's going to be a full house. I can't imagine it will be, but Thursday night, I like the Thursday night. How do you feel about that?
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm fine. What about the Memphis game? Is that going to sell out here?
No, I can't imagine. Now, if they go beat Kansas State, maybe that last week, but I heard, and this was just from a guy that said he knew a guy, that there's only 18,000 seats sold so far.
Oh, boy.
Because I want to get tickets to that.
I don't think you're going to have any problem.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think you'll have any problem. But, it's always good nostalgia to walk into the Dome, right?
Ugh.
How horrible is that going to be if there's 20,000 people?
Like, I'm sure I will go to the game.
Are you going to take your son?
I'm not sure. I think...
Depends what time it is, I guess. We don't know what time the game's going to be.
My wife has taken the two boys out of town that weekend, I believe. For
to shield them from Missouri football?
Baptism in Washington, D.C. So anyway, I think that I will be solo and just having pony after pony after pony all weekend, as you can imagine. Mm-hmm. So I'll go, but God, going into that building.
It's tough. Yeah.
It was tough in 2000, because we got to travel around and see all the stadiums, and and then I would say on the radio, I'm like, hey, this is the worst stadium in the NFL. And people are like, no, it's not, it's loud. And I'm like, well, no, actually, because you got the greatest football product in the NFL, and there's still people sitting down in the lower bowl. And now to go back into it in 2023, holy crap.
They played a couple of football games at Busch Stadium.
I went to those, Jerome Bettis.
Yeah, I mean the new one, the current Busch Stadium. They played some games there.
Who did?
It was like Southeast Missouri, didn't they?
Oh, really? I
thought you were talking about the Rams.
Yeah, no,
not the Rams.
When they first got here, I remember
games,
that. Yeah. I don't know how those drew. I can't imagine that was a very crowded atmosphere.
Well, it wasn't, I don't think it was Mizzou playing either.
But it's outdoors.
Yeah, I would be a hell of... I mean, I'm going to go either way.
Yeah,
but I would be a
doubt.
hell of a lot more excited for Busch Stadium.
Absolutely.
But it also
Absolutely.
can't hold as many, but I guess you're saying it's not going to be an issue.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if they get anywhere near a sellout. But hey, that Kansas State game, there's, it's a wait and see approach. We have nothing to prove these first two games other than if they lose one of them, just, kiss
oh
the
my
season
God, the
goodbye.
Plowhawk will just be the Plowhawk for 3 hours if they lose to South Dakota or Middle Tennessee State.
I'll be ready to see what Drink's reaction is.
Stop your hate watching.
And the recruits.
Hey, Plowsy, I got something for you if you want to endear yourself to the Mizzou fans. I just tweeted out this morning, we're doing this big ad campaign with Luther Burden where if you call, get a quote online, we'll donate $20 to Mizzou's NIL.
How about that? By the way.
All right. So, hey, if you want Mizzou to be able to compete, this is the new world, and let's see. You don't have to, there's no obligation. You don't have to buy anything. If Plowsy gave us a retweet, man, those Mizzou fans would be right behind you in your corner.
Of course, James. You're one of my favorite human beings. My insurance agent.
Very good. Okay.
That escalated quickly.
So on Twitter, Carlton, I think it's Carlton SF on Twitter. If anybody, Tim, if you want to come out of retirement on Twitter, we need some action on that. Luther, hopefully when he wakes up this morning, he'll start tweeting about it. I know he tweeted something about emos last night, so it's NIL week, I guess. So, so anybody out there, if you already have State Farm, if you don't like State Farm, if your insurance is with your brother or your sister and you're never going to switch, just give us a retweet and let's see how much money we can raise for the university.
Just a simple retweet's worth $20?
No. Get a quote online or call in to get a quote. We will donate $20 to Mizzou's Ever True Tiger Foundation for their collective. But, hey, if we get, 1,000 quotes throughout this season, that's $20,000. That can buy us a half of offensive linemen, maybe.
I'm already
sure it's worth a shot.
Reposting it and retweeting it for you.
Very good. Thank you guys some, Doug. If the water's warm, if you'd like to.
Sure. You said Carlton SF?
Yeah, I think that's the Twitter handle. It's on Facebook and Instagram.
Carlton SF?
I think so. Yeah, I'll text it to you guys after we're done.
I got you. It's J. Carlton WG, it looks like.
There you go.
Yep,
See, this is.
I got you.
Poorly executed by me.
Hey, I got you. I'm recovering.
All right, thank you guys. So
it's called repost now?
Yeah, the X they changed.
That was weird too.
When it got rebranded as X, I noticed that. Yeah. So
more people off social media now, you think, than a year ago? What do you think?
People off of it?
More people off of social media? Has there been a decrease in social media?
So I'm on Twitter. That's where I live. I don't rarely do much on Facebook, and I just
or maybe I should say Twitter and Facebook.
Twitter,
TikTok,
I think Twitter
maybe.
Definitely, because there's a certain amount of people who hate Elon Musk, so they said, "That's it, I'm out of Twitter."
Okay,
this isn't the most bots I've ever seen, though.
Is that right?
Like in my life, in terms of it's got to be 3-to-1 bots to human interactions on Twitter. It's all bots with 5 followers. It's wild, man. It is. So I can't post anything controversial because you'll have the bots just coming out in droves.
Yeah.
I follow it purely for the beat writers. I just want to know who's injured this week, who had a good practice, and then back in the day when Tim would share us his upcoming starlets, that was good information.
Oh yeah, Doug, you missed that?
Yeah.
Jill Cassidy.
I find on Instagram I'm a big hit among young Asian women. I don't know why. I have a lot of followers.
I got an article right here talking about Facebook and Twitter.
What do we have? That's interesting. What do you have, Jackson?
They're both from November 2022. Talking about the downfall, and this was right after, I guess, Zuckerberg changed it from Facebook to Meta, but this would be pre-Elon owning Twitter. So it just says Facebook's in decline, Twitter in chaos. They cite the layoffs from the 2 major social media giants. They don't mention Instagram or TikTok.
Why would the layoffs matter? People don't care who's working there. They just care if their site's on there.
Well, I got Zuck lost hundreds of billions of dollars in value and the layoffs. I'm just quoting. This is what I'm reading here from the Atlantic.
It just doesn't make sense to me. If you have a Facebook or Instagram profile, as long as your profile's up there, you don't care who's working in the offices.
Sure, but I would say that like a business who's laying off thousands of people usually are not in the best states financially, which means they probably have less and less users.
It's just a matter of
less and less advertisers.
What caused it?
Yeah, I don't know.
I guess the younger generations aren't getting on Facebook like they did for 10 years there.
But Facebook, aka Meta, also owns Instagram, so nothing's more popular than that.
They're probably all going to the dating sites.
Perhaps, yeah. That's where I'd say the large majority of people that are meeting today absolutely are meeting online.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And I guess that's better than having to go to a bar and have 5 drinks. And
no question, you can just sit on your couch and start doing a little process of elimination.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had the pleasure of doing an online date.
Yeah, it predates me.
Yeah. So I get it though. I get that that's a very easy way to just kind of filter out, narrow it down. Who would I want to spend an hour and get a drink with?
Jackson, your new friend, did you meet her on a dating app?
No.
Look at old school back here.
Yeah, Johnny Old School.
But I would say with
Met
the
her in person, ick.
with the dating app, you can have like a hybrid thing where it's like you match with someone on Hinge or Bumble and say, "Oh, I'm going out to this bar tonight," and they're like, "Oh, I guess I'll go out there too." And it's like it's not necessarily like a date, but you kind of meet the person, but you already have like the advantage of knowing they're going to be there and that like you two are supposed to meet up.
Yeah.
So it's kind of you met online, but you're actually doing the courting in person.
The courting. Don't say
Interesting.
courting.
I haven't heard that
1890.
perspective. So, both, hey, I'm going to be at Wheelhouse, around 10 o'clock on Friday. I'll be wearing a blue shirt. I mean, how does that all go down?
You get their number from
Okay.
it. Or it was the best in college at Mizzou because like you'd be like, "Oh, I'm going to Harpo's tonight," and they'd be like, "Oh, I'm going too. I'll meet you out there."
That would be so good to not have to face the rejection.
Yes.
Asking a girl to dance or just walking up cold at a
Or
bar.
can I get you a
and
drink?
say,
Yeah.
Because there's no smooth way to do it. And then she turns and says, "No, thank you," and you got to make the walk of shame back to your friends.
But there are times face to face where a girl will give a guy a chance just for the effort, and then that turns into a blossoming relationship. These now allow both sides to be super picky when they shouldn't be in terms of their look and their personality. They shouldn't be looking for strictly 9s or 10s. But the app immediately gives you a reason to find one thing wrong with that person and immediately block them without really giving them a chance. So I'd say there's some downside to the dating app.
KG in O-Town says, just make sure you're not 5'9" or below, or else you're automatically screwed. That's from KG in O-Town, who I believe is below 5'9", I think.
Well, those superficial females are not somebody you want to date anyways. When they have a height requirement, those people are really
I gotta
depressed.
Be honest with you, I don't know. I don't mind it. You got your preference. Yeah. I don't mind it. It kind of cuts out the BS. I mean, Doug. You know what I say? You're attracted to what you're attracted to.
I think so. I just think that not having to deal with the rejection is such a huge thing.
But the guys that could handle that well are the guys that had the most success in college.
Oh, yeah. If you didn't
the
care,
numbers game,
you gotta
yeah.
you could brush it off.
Absolutely. And I had a friend that wouldn't give a hoot if he was rejected 10 times a night because he knew it was a numbers game and eventually he would land. And it worked out beautifully. And he was not like a particularly handsome fella, but he had that rejection ability.
He didn't care.
And, I'm not great at that either. Who wants to walk up and say, "Can I get you a drink?" and she just turns her shoulder to you. You don't want that.
Be just like a good salesman. Can handle the rejection.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm putting my money on the pale one having met his last in the workplace. This guy walks around that place like he's got a wrench in his pant.
Oh.
It's in the Table Rock Lake Monster.
Gosh.
Is the Table Rock Lake... Doug, is the text coming from inside the building?
I think it might be.
How would he know how Jackson walks around Hubbard? Like he has a wrench? You walk around here like you have a wrench in your pant?
I don't try to lead that. I don't do anything to make someone believe that to be true.
Socket wrench? Monkey wrench? What sort of wrench
Try
do
to
you
keep
have?
it somewhat professional at the workplace. But no, that text is inaccurate.
A socket wrench is fun to use. You ever have those, James? Where you just crank,
Doug,
you crank back and forth?
This is a really painful spot for me because my wife is so much more handier than I am.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's embarrassing.
But to think that you can find the right socket,
Yes,
and then
you
you
try
can just
them all
crank.
out. Yes, I get it.
Yeah,
But
it's
she
fun.
likes doing all that. I'm just there to put it all back together.
Listening to girls on social media talking about their body count is odd. That's from Angel the Morning After. Where's that going on?
No, it's not. Dude, that kind of sexist because guys do that every waking minute of every day. This isn't a shot at Iggy, but we've talked about hit 500 for 4 years.
Yeah.
I think women should have every right to.
Is that like a page or that just goes on in general? I have
No idea, but if-
Angel the Morning After call in.
Well, usually for women, if they have a high body count, it's you slut, and for men, it's you stud.
Yeah, but for guys that can't compete with the other 20 that's because you ain't laying hog, and so
don't say you ain't
that's
laying
more of
hog.
a you problem. If you don't think you can satisfy a girl who's had multiple encounters with guys, then that's good luck, man. Girls should do their thing just as much as guys do, and I have no issue with that. I don't care what your number is. I'm gonna show you what's up.
Flip that off.
Why would you say that to me?
That's how the confidence should
Look
be.
them right in the eye.
KJ in O-Town has sent in a screenshot of an exchange, Doug, with Kendra. You know Kendra?
No.
Lust?
Kendra Lust, yeah. Are you really 5'9"? Because I have a complex, LOL. I am. What do you mean by complex? Like, I can't date guys my height because I become insecure. Like, I don't want to feel like the bigger one. Well, saying I was 5'10" would be disingenuous, so if you're 5'9", I would say we might be on an equal playing field. Not sure how you feel about that. No, I'm glad you didn't lie to me about it. Being an athletic girl sucks sometimes, smiley face, because I get called big, muscular, huge, etc.
and years of fitting a body image does a wreck on the brain. So when I'm around guys my height or shorter, I feel like I'm those things.
So she was a former catcher at Lindenwood.
Is that what that was?
I don't know what her
Kendrick
position
Todd?
was.
Well, it kind of sounds like she's an athlete.
Yeah.
But it's not a tall basketball player. It's more of a kind of a short, stocky, maybe a shortstop.
No, I think she's saying she's taller.
yeah.
She doesn't want to be taller than her boyfriend.
Right, and I understand.
5'9" not that tall.
For a female?
For a lady, it is.
Oh,
Pretty tall girl.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more common for a female to be a little bit taller now.
Average height over under 5'6" for females.
God, I think I might go under.
I think
on that.
maybe a little under.
Probably 5'5".
Okay, yeah, right around there.
Here, I'll look it up.
Average height for women, Doug, 5'4".
Wow, okay, I was way off. So yeah, 5'9". I mean, that's, yeah. you're
Not even
tall drink of water.
5'9", 5'10". I'm so comfortable with what I bring to the table. I don't really care.
That's your allure.
Yeah, like you
Like
can be
Kramer.
taller than me. Like I don't.
But in
care
general,
one
I
bit.
think most guys want to be taller than their girlfriend, and most girls don't want to be taller than their boyfriend. Just in general.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that I wouldn't date anybody. Like, I think that's a big.
No, it's not a deal killer, but I'm just saying, just in general, that seems to be the way people think.
It's a preference, and I think it's an odd thing that, like, guys at one point were getting shamed because they didn't find certain traits, body fat, to be attractive.
Natural, you would say.
And then women now are, again, shamed is it's like a social media buzzword, but, something's wrong if you have a preference. Like, you can't really help what you're attracted to.
Right.
I mean, you can tell me you're beautiful all day long. That's fine, but it's not going to change what my biochemistry tells me I'm attracted to.
And Tim likes pretty women.
Ways.
He likes BBWs.
I do. And I realize most women are not attracted to the traits I possess, both internally and externally. Yeah. And I completely understand it. And I'm not necessarily mad about it. It's just the way that the brain works, and you really can't do anything about it. You can come after me on social media for not finding a larger woman attractive. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not angry that women don't find small guys attractive. Some do, I suppose, but it's probably not most women's preference. So you just tip your cap and go, okay, I'll control what I can control. And so I go and try and get them fired from their jobs from my burner account on social media. That's what I can control. That's what I can control.
I love burning people to the ground on social media.
Yeah, I try to take them out.
And anonymity, yeah, my favorite.
Well, we talked it all over.
We did. We said it all. James Carlton, you're just like a co-host when you come in here. I kind of like it. You bring topics to the... No, it's great.
All right, we'll break all down the South Dakota next week.
Yeah,
Can't wait.
Coyotes. It's Coyote season here in Missouri. There he is, the great James Carlton.
Well,
Carlton
thanks,
State
James.
Farm Insurance Agency online at carltoninsurance.net. KJ Noton says she's a college volleyball player, 5'9", acting like I was 5'2". Her loss.
No.
KJ Noton.
Because he's close to 5'9",
Yeah, like saying you're going to tower over him by a half of an inch that's not towering. No. That's not the definition of it.
But I think a lot of ladies like to wear heels, and if you're wearing heels, now you got
lifts.
Doug, remember Casey Kasem's wife, Jean?
Vaguely, was she a tall brunette drink of water?
Tall blonde, I believe.
Blonde.
And he
like
was
6'6".
I guess I don't.
He was 6'6".
He was like 5'1".
Right. It was
but he was also worth millions.
And then Tom
Great
Cruise had a
equalizer.
Nicole Kidman situation. She's taller, he's shorter.
Yeah.
So it's just, that's a thing.
And Dudley Moore, I think he is married.
Like, what about Dudley Moore?
He was married to like a 6'1" girl.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not. There's not a blanket policy for everyone.
The guys don't care.
In general.
But a girl would never date somebody smaller than her.
Well, you
I'm
just
5'8".
mentioned people that did.
No, a girl really doesn't like guys that are smaller than them.
No, but we just listed 3 examples.
Well, yeah, they're celebrities. These girls were married for the money.
Yeah, possibly.
Let's just say a normal girl who isn't out for money would never date a small guy.
Well, it's just in general. I think women like to have the guy a little taller than them.
I'm 5'8". When I was on dating apps, I was able to pull 2 girls. I was able to pull girls 2 inches taller than me. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you I've had 500. But if you're confident, girls will feed off that. Thanks. That's from the Table Rock Lake Monster, and he's giving us a little pointer.
Well, I don't lie, so you may have pulled them, but I'm sure after they saw you, they dumped you real quickly.
Oh, Doug. What about these 500 that you pulled? Did they dump
Hey,
you?
honey, look at my stringer. Caught a lot today.
None of these 500 dumped you, did they? Anacardente.
Well, most of them are just sex.
A lot of
I haven't had a ton of girlfriends in my life.
Laura
I
Patterson.
couldn't be tied down.
No, you're a wild stallion. Can't put a saddle on you.
Oh. Can't keep me down.
Who's the bear who just walked in? It's from the 60s.
I told him. He was standing outside, and he goes, yeah, Plowsy, DM me. I said, well, walk in there. You'll get some text.
I saw the text. Like, what's that? Like, oh, yeah, we did. We have a gentleman here on the Hubbard staff.
Yeah, walked in, look at the
just
computer.
walked in the listeners, Doug. I mean, this really, it's like a bunch of predators.
That's all they care about.
And he's doing what I told him to do. I said, just ignore it. Don't listen while you're in there. Just
trying to fix things.
What are you trying to fix, Plowsy?
Nothing. Like the skeleton. Like none of the
skeleton's broken.
None of the replay segments will load into here. So like Jackson loads into his booth, and I load them into here.
Yeah.
This one won't show segment playing, so I need it fixed before the show ends. Obviously,
sure.
Tim, before it skips 3 full hours of programming.
Billy.
So again, I know you guys, people, listeners say I don't do anything.
What are you
I'm
doing?
very proactive and obviously very thankful that help is on the way. Hubbard has a great support staff.
Sure
here,
they
so.
do.
Daddy likes the lumberjack.
I knew. I told him. I told Craig.
They don't want to fix anything because they got to come in here and then they're just harassed.
You don't need to say, Daddy likes the lumberjack.
is that Cletus?
That's King Fupa.
I told Craig in advance to let him know that like this may be. We had remember that guy when we first started. He had to control the YouTube for a day.
Yeah, poor Joe Schoenwetter was in on our first day.
He just got.
It's like walking into a lake that's full of piranha.
Speaking of fupas, that's how the oddest thing this weekend.
Speaking of fupas,
10 minutes.
that's the transition we're going with now?
No, Tim mentioned a fupa. I saw an ad with a guy with a 6-pack abs and a fupa. I've never seen it. He's got 6-pack and then a fupa hanging over.
That gotta be CGI.
And where did you see this picture?
It was on some ad for weight loss or something. Guy had a 6-pack and a fupa.
Well, I'm sure it couldn't have been photoshopped or anything.
No, it was a real guy. He was telling you he was lifting weights and telling you how he got in shape. And I saw a 6-pack. And what about the fupa?
I walked in on the most casual dude taking a poop at Evolution Fest. This is insane.
Where?
So, like, Evolution Fest, for one, put on an amazing show. Like, it was, for the first
Was it
year,
great?
it was absolutely
That's
tremendous.
awesome to hear, man.
No big lines anywhere. There was a lot of stands, like, easy access to get your wristbands, all that.
Oh, yeah.
Nonetheless, like, the porta potties are, like, at the beginning. Of,
Well, sure,
You know,
yeah.
they have VIP porta potties, and they have, you know, the poor porta potties, where
Right.
I was.
Yeah.
And so when it's green, I typically don't knock. It's really
No,
loud.
you just
I typically
go in.
just open the door. When I walked in on the dude just taking it just smelled horrible. And he was, you could tell he was absolutely wasted. They'd been there for 2 days. And he just.
In the porta potty for 2 days?
No, at the concert. But we, like, meet. Eye contact. He goes, "Oh, my bad." Like he was so like didn't cover himself. Didn't hold, like
His bad because you walked in on him.
I respected the hell out of that dude. It smelled so bad, but like how casual he just was. Like, yeah, my bad.
I respect guys who can hit the ball 300 yards, Doug, but I respect people who can get the ball in the hole even more. And while tour players get up and down 2/3 of the time, scratch golfers still only get up and down around half the time. Thus, the best way to lower your scores is to improve your short game, and that's why tour players like world #1 John Rahm and Max Homa have installed celebrity greens in their backyards. Anyone can put down fake turf and call it a putting green, but if you want a golf green that putts true and gives you real grass performance while practicing chips, pitches, and bunker shots, the only company to call is Clubhouse Turf, St. Louis's exclusive partner of Celebrity Greens. 314-834-2339, or just go online at clubhouseturf.com and let them know you are a TMA listener. It's Clubhouse Turf online at clubhouseturf.com. We're about 5-6 minutes away from the Design Air Heating and Cooling email today, which means we're about 20 minutes from Jackson and I dealing with a live situation down the hallway for Jackson's glorious return to the Munganess St. Louis Acura Alton Toyota balloon party. Jackson, you were out in Las Vegas at Circa. Tell the people about Circa now that you've been there.
Yeah, I mean, Circa, it's such a cool place, man. It really, really is special. It's being out there, like the sports book. Like, if you love to sports wager, you should head out there. And you should join one of these 2 major contests that got going on right now at Circa. Now, I met the guys who won last year. You would think these guys are like...
Oh, you met them?
Oh, yeah. You'd think these guys are like pro gamblers who, like, all they do is sports bet. There's 4 normal guys from Detroit who all signed up for the millions, and they won it all. And so you can be just like them and win $6 million in guaranteed prizes. Take home $1 million if you win the Circa Millions. Now, you must register in person at Circa Sportsbook in Nevada, but you make weekly picks through a proxy that you register with, so you can do it from anywhere. First up, Circa Millions. Do it. $6 million in guaranteed prizes. $1,000 per entry. Max of 5 entries per person. Pick 5 teams against the spread every week. Winner takes home $1 million. Then they got the Circa Survivor Pool with $8 million guaranteed to the winner or winners. It's $1,000 per entry, max of 10 entries per person. Pick one team straight up every week to win. If the team loses or ties, the entry is eliminated. You can only pick each team once in the season. Go 20-0 or be the last person standing to win. All available over at Circa Sportsbook, where KG and O-Town and I were just a few days ago. It's incredible. You go out there and watch your $1 million pick win at that stadium swim. How do you do?
How do you do? It's Circa Sportsbook. I start my quest for the million next week. Doug, Chiefs and Lions, a week from Thursday.
That's the game you picked?
No, but that's the opener for the NFL.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Tim's in the Circa Millions, the pick 5 teams against the spread every week. There's also the Survivor, where you'd only pick one game straight up.
Well, what did you get in while you were out there, Jackson?
Bet that Mizzou over, I can tell you that much.
You bet the win total?
Yeah.
What'd you bet, huh?
Yeah, a couple of units. There's a couple.
But then you saw the Mizzou rules. Were you scared about that bet maybe being
unaffected? Like I said, when I heard Timmy Trumpets, I was like, good luck.
The stadium's going to be up for grabs with these rules.
Snatch grabs.
Yeah. Don't focus on the shiny object. Focus on the product on the field.
There you go, Doug. That's you're going to see it 7 o'clock on Thursday night against South Dakota. Injury cases can be complex. Each case and accident's different, and every fact is important when building a case. People often wonder how injured victims get large settlements or verdicts, and the short answer is because they're represented by effective and skilled lawyers who understand how to get every dollar out of their case, and that's what you will get at Longo Biggs Injury. Go to longobiggs.com. That's C.D. Longo and Doug Biggs of the Longo Biggs Injury Law Firm. They'll take all the complication and hassle out of your injury claim, and they will deal with the insurance company and take the fight head on, allowing you to get back to what's important, which is recovering from your injuries. They're local, they're TMA listeners, and they will personally be the ones handling your case. They're not out of town and delegating it to local attorneys saying, hey, get this settled as quickly as possible. No. They'll take it to trial. Longo Biggs Injury Law accepts personal injury, wrongful death, brain injury, and other catastrophic injury cases. It's longobiggs.com. Remember, the choice of an attorney is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements. Jeff Lotman of the Lotman Real Estate Company, Compass Realty, is somebody I would recommend to our audience because I know it is tough right now. If you want to buy a home, you got to get inside word, and that's where you're going to get from Jeff because he's been in the market now for 22 years and has over $500 million in sales. He joined Compass to start and build Compass St. Louis into the #1 luxury brand in St. Louis. Is Compass the largest luxury broker in the world? Never turns down a referral, no matter the price. Luxury is much more about the experience than the price, and they treat all their clients the same way and can connect buyers and sellers in other cities across the globe. All you have to do is visit JEFFLOTTMANN.com. That's JEFFLOTTMANN.com. Jeff Lotman at Compass Realty. Doug, Mad Dog was not happy about getting Sunday ticket. Take a listen here.
Hit the lever.
That's what they're going to do. Here's this gadget, Chris. You got to sign up here. Give me your email address there. Here's your receipt. No, you can't do it on this. You got to do it via your phone. I mean, it's impossible. All I want to do is lose money. That's all I want to do.
Oh.
Lose money with the service and lose money with Fatso's picks. That's all I care about. And they won't let me do it. So the NFL and YouTube, whether it's YouTube TV, regular YouTube, who knows what it is? The only reason why I put YouTube on is to see an old David Crosby interview. Oh. That's the only reason. Or find a Bob Dylan song. I mean, my God almighty. Or watch Leonard Skinner, which I'm into right now, as you guys know. That's all I care about. But they don't allow me to do it because in this age, 2023, if you are not tech savvy with your televisions and all your quote-unquote devices, you're finished. Finished. I bought the Direct TV. I had them put the stupid things on my roofs, with the facing the southwest. I went through that process. I deal with the satellite loss with the storms. But I know with Direct TV when I get up or I get ready to watch football on Sunday in September, October, November, and December, I know I can lose money which makes me happy because all the games are in front of me. 8 little boxes. I got the 4 separate, I got the 8 little boxes. They have taken that device away from me. And now I got to work to watch the ball game. So we have no idea now whether on September 10th at 101, I can put Catalan on when he's doing freaking him and Matt Ryan when he's bouncing around doing the Bucks-Viking game. I mean, that's it. They make it so gosh darn difficult. My God.
Technology's gone 8 steps backward the last 5 years. For sports watching, it is 100% accurate.
Right.
Look
I
at
agree
what
with him
Bailey's has
completely.
done. I couldn't agree more with what he said.
Yeah, I share your feelings.
Or just find somebody that's tech savvy to do it for you.
I don't know.
Not everybody has someone in the home that can do it.
I think they
you
make
think he
it so
doesn't know
hard.
people?
Oh, I'm
But
sure
not
he
everybody
does.
does.
Well, I'm talking about him. I mean, if Joe
may not-
Joe Blow gets on there, I can't figure this out. Then that guy understand. But not him. He's got plenty of people. He could get one of his technicians to do it.
Everything's such a money grab, like it doesn't matter. You will not be able to stream
Right.
live sports
And he's
with
talking about
any
being at
sort of
home.
relative ease anymore.
I don't think he has technicians hanging around his bedrooms waiting for every little tech
All
problem.
he had to do was call one of his 90,000 people that work for him on that network and say, come over to my house and fix it.
You don't want to do that. You just want to sit down in your pajamas and turn on the remote and hit a button or two and watch the game. You don't want to go through an app and a password and an email.
Then you have to get that email passcode and then type that into the smart TV. It's like, I'm done. I already don't want to watch this game now.
Right. Am I HDMI 1, 2, or 3? And which remote works it? And
College football does it great. Fox, CBS, and they have their own networks. You got the Big Ten network, like all that. The SEC network, like that works to a charm. You can find all those on a YouTube TV device, and that's amazing.
And hope the Wi-Fi signal stays strong. If that goes out, then you're out of luck too.
Oh, it's a mental grind.
It is. It's too much work.
I'm going to take the opposite stance and say for people my age, it's as easy as it's ever been.
How could it be easier than turning on cable TV and hitting the button, hitting the channel?
I have to agree with Doug.
Okay, I get that, but I'm also I'm not paying $200 a month for cable. You can pick and choose what you want to watch, as opposed to getting bundled to death and having channels you never ever watch that you're paying for.
You can bundle me 6 feet under at this point, as opposed to what I have to deal with. That half of my apps I'm working on my PS4, the other half are on my smart TV.
Yeah,
There's
I'd like to
always
condense it,
constant
too.
updates. It
if I have a
is.
Wi-Fi
So Jackson, how do you watch the Cardinals game?
On the Bally app.
And so what do you subscribe to get the ballot?
That one I have to use my parents' login for.
Okay,
sure.
thank you. I got no further questions.
Well, no doubt.
But I mean, that's a material part of the conversation.
Yeah. Sure.
You can't go contrarian and then be using your parents. Then go, it's easier.
Well, the Bally's is a different situation because that is
right.
not
But I mean
easier.
that's one of the core. Doug, the premise was watching sports, and that's the issue.
And if that was your cable
It is
provider, it's
ridiculous.
$95.
And I oftentimes go, okay, especially when we're on 101, and what the situation is there, with it being a little older and angrier, and so I'll immediately go contrarian on it. But it's specific to the Cardinals and Blues right now. This is such a cluster. And when you're in St. Louis and you're talking St. Louis sports, it is such a step backwards. And now it's gotten to the point where it's affecting, I think it could be affecting anyway, the way that the Cardinals are able to do business. I think it's such a huge story because it affects the fans and the way they watch the teams, and then it also affects the team in the way they do business. It's a monster story. And I don't know what the solution is. One of the links you sent me last night, right, was about the NHL, or about ESPN possibly getting into business with Amazon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Amazon or Apple's talking about it.
And then the non-ling sent me a link from somebody talking about ESPN. I got to pull this up because this statistic was
something else. Here it is. The NHL is going into its third year of its 7-year media rights deal with ESPN. Since that time, ESPN's subscriber base has fallen from 80 million to 45 million. How about that? It's essentially in half in 3 years.
That's people cutting the cord, cutting the cable.
Disney, parent company of ESPN, is now actively searching for a strategic partner for the network, and that's what gets into the link Jackson sent last night, which is the possibility of Amazon. I think Apple has been mentioned as well. It is, and this Alan Walsh who wrote about it, and he's a hockey. Is he an agent, co-managing director, Octagon Hockey, sports agent, and lawyer? And he writes, we're talking different things. When somebody presented something, he said, you're talking reported subscribers to ESPN Plus. I'm talking ESPN subscriber base. Quote, ESPN itself is expecting that its subscriber base, as part of the basic cable bundle, will tumble to about 45 million households from around 74 million households in 2022. I mean, that's
crazy, dude.
So when people talk about layoffs at ESPN, I mean, understand why they're happening. You know, it's not like just like a rich guy is looking to hurt people. There are reasons for these things, and that is the reason.
So a lot of people, Doug mentioned, a lot of people are cord cutting, but they're not getting anything like YouTube. I mean, I get ESPN on YouTube TV.
Well, that's the biggest problem, I think, with Bally's right now is, like, you can't watch a Cardinal game unless you have a cable subscription. I could watch almost every other sport easily without a cable subscription, but right now, because the streaming rights thing with MLB, you can't watch the Cardinal game.
And I can tell you right now that I think if you took a poll, would you rather watch a Cardinal game or spend $100 on a cable subscription, I would probably say that's going to be 60-40 who probably watch the Cardinal game, but 40% of the people probably won't even care.
Now, if it was $15 a month, people would do that. If it was $15 a month to watch all of Bally's, but you can't do that.
And you can't get a cheap cable package because just like internet, they have you by the balls, and they will slowly raise it $2 to $3 every month for no reason outside of putting fees on your bill. And what you signed up for, the $69.99 a month, turns into $88 to $95 a month, and then you have Bailey that could switch their price, and you have to do. It's just insane. I hate. Fox Sports Midwest was the best thing to ever happen to this city, and Bailey's and Mosaic are the worst thing.
Oh, Mosaic!
If I had to guess.
That wasn't him.
I'm just saying, like, he put his name on the dotted lines on there, so did the DeWitt. They have everybody to blame here. Let's stop blaming just Bailey's. It's the people who said, oh, this is a great idea. Let's put money in my pocket.
If I could just simply pick and choose without having to have the partner app, so to speak, of YouTube TV or Spectrum, yeah, I'd get rid of it in a heartbeat. But that's why I have it, because of my job. I mean, whenever I'm done doing this stuff, you know, I don't know if I'll still pay for it to watch the Cardinals and the Blues. I have no idea. I don't know. But I certainly understand people who don't have the necessity of watching the game going, God, I don't want to pay for this stuff. And it's all over the damn place. And then if games are blacked out, and it's just, if it were as ideal as, say, like HBO Max, or what is now Max, you know, it's so compartmentalized for different ones, and here's what I think. I think, maybe I'll be off the mark on this, that within the next couple of years, that it will be streamlined. I do think it's going to be fixed because it is so chaotic right now. But it really might be in the hands of a couple of companies. It might be in the hands of Amazon and Apple, and they'll own everything.
They almost do already.
Yeah.
I'm just confused if you lose 40 million subscribers because they drop cable. Where are these 40 million people watching their sports? I mean, you have to get YouTube or Hulu or something, which would have ESPN to watch your sports.
And that's
so
what
you
they're
drop
doing.
cable, but you still pick it up somewhere else, don't you?
But it's cheaper somewhere else.
But you're still a subscriber. Doesn't that count as a subscriber, even if you're watching ESPN because you have YouTube?
We'll talk about it more tomorrow because it's 9:54 and I got to go to the design area here to get a cool email of the day. Walk of shame. Been there, done that plenty of times. Spending a few years at the university at Big Bend and Couch, I had my share. That cafeteria was brutal. The girls that had been hot in high school didn't quite understand that this was the big time, and they weren't as good looking as they thought. After a coding class of bits and bytes, my head was spinning, and there he was. The hottest piece of ass I'd ever seen. Try to imagine a male Gene Kasem in the tightest pair of khakis the Gap had to offer.
Gene Kasem? Casey's wife?
I believe so. I couldn't make out his temporary substitute teacher name tag, but I knew it had something to do with journalism. The dude made that Hillbian lumberjack on the front of the building look like a sissy boy. He was all man. Having been rejected by so many girls, I wasn't about to go through the public humiliation again, so I just left. So imagine my surprise when a LeBaron convertible pulled up to my West Rose Hill bus stop. Jump in, buddy. I noticed you, too. Oh. We ended up parking behind the Magic House to get to know each other. Oh. Like, that's right by Nipper, right?
Knifer, yeah.
And by nose each other, I mean he sat on my... Nope.
No.
Just when I thought I was going to pass out from the combination of lack of oxygen and pure eroticism, he changed his game plan. I originally rejected it, not because I didn't want it, but because in his haste, he had forgotten the lube and he was massive. That's from... The first name is Ben. He has a middle name of Eden. And also, I guess his confirmation name is Doug. And then his last name is Zass.
Oh. Ben Zass. He's new. We don't use middle names. And I was never a substitute teacher at Merrimack. Ever.
Coming soon to a theater near you, Sleepless in Las Vegas. Are you clamoring to see footage of a pale introvert running on 2 hours of sleep, trying his hardest to not pass out as he dances alone in a pool? Are you dying to see a timid bull for hire, make no effort whatsoever, never get near a woman? Obviously, you answered no, but you've already seen Oppenheimer and Barbie, so this is your next best option. This summer, a perfect mix of Rain Man, The Hangover, and Brokeback Mountain hits the big screen as two coworkers desperately try to overcome their fear of speaking to the opposite sex. Roger Ebert proclaims someone finally made a film about two fellas on a work trip struggling to keep their hands off of each other because they're just not quite ready to make their secret romance public. It's fantastic. If you want to see a tired guy do a radio show 2 time zones away from his co-host while another guy quietly sits next to him because there's only one microphone, this will be right up your alley. Sleepless in Las Vegas artfully captures 2 awestruck Midwestern rubes as they rub shoulders with Boise State's beat writer.
Shout out, BJ.
It beautifully chronicles the daily nap schedule of an underdressed 25-year-old virgin. Gene Siskel bluntly states, "What the hell did I just watch?" At one point, an albino guy interviewed a few drug addicts that could barely speak English. And somehow that wasn't even the worst part. I kept waiting for the tall one to kiss his chaperone because their sexual tension was so palpable. But sadly, it never happened. It would have been a lot cooler if they would have just banged.
Oh.
The only thing left to say is, Jackson, I wish I knew how to quit you. Doug, that's from the JV golf coach.
JV golf coach.
Oh, my God.
KG was not his chaperone.
Romance, it's overrated. You can miss me with that ridiculous long walk on the beach scenario. If you're looking for romance tips, pull up an inconveniently placed breezeway chair and let old Uncle Iggy teach you the ways. The first thing you want to do is establish a backstory. For the sake of this story, let's just say you went to Brown. Next, you want to get off the fan page and then spend a majority of your time telling people you're off the fan page while simultaneously and mysteriously knowing every single topic related to every single post that hits the fan page. With that knowledge in hand, you're going to want to head on over to local beach bar. I prefer a nice rainforest cafe or a pasta house. I stroll on up to my prey and ask them if they're interested in betting someone who made his way all the way from Gangster Pete's intern to some vaguely described hybrid role that kind of includes producer and also includes co-host, but really doesn't come with any inherent responsibilities or accountability and reports directly to a 21-year-old kid fresh to the business. All that and only 30 or 40 years in the business. From there, the last thing you got to do is find yourself a rock. A nice sex-inducing rock. Nothing says passion like a romantic piece of sedimentary mudstone, if you ask me. Yada, yada, yada. Next thing you know, you'll have her husband rocking himself to sleep behind your TJ Maxx shoe rack while she desperately voids the evidence of your lovemaking in the nearest hallway/kitchenette sink. Thanks, and I like my sexual conquest like I like my hostage cooking video views, wildly inflated. If you need me, I'll be out smoking next to my smoking bucket for U.S. citizens only.
Oh. Who was that? That was the name? The guy right at the...
That's right.
If you need me.
Yep.
I'll be right next to the outdoor smoking buckets for American citizens only.
And finally, Sadie Hawkins, Doug, you got the Cardinals scoring 3 runs on 10 hits in the process of getting outscored 22-3 over the weekend. The Doggies fought hard by dropping 3 points at Orlando. There was hot lesbianism like the Dickens in the pit at Evolution Fest. Really? How did we miss that? Buck Swope says there was. Jackson and KG in O-Town produced a wonderful Man on the Street video that doesn't hit as hard without the visual, but I think the lead is Mizzou Rules video that rips off the 12-year-old Rams rules, which ripped off the decades-old Chicago Bulls intro by incorporating a prog rock instrumental from the Alan Parsons Project. I'm 100% with Iggy on this. This was more plagiarism than satire, although I guess it's possible that the same loser who produced the original Rams rules may have gotten paid a second time for the awful bit. And it's also possible that someone in the decision-making process knew it would be funny to a small minority of Mizzou fans on the eastern side of the state. Either way, we need to find the person responsible for this video and get him on the show. On the year in the DFS showdown, Iggy beat Doug 18-7, including the last 11 in a row. However, going back to the beginning, they are tied 13-13 for picking the winner. If Iggy hadn't bullied Doug out of picking Victor Hovland, they would both have had the winner, and Doug would be up 14-13.
Right.
If you go back to the original clip when this came up, this is the one where Iggy dropped the F-bomb when he was going to take the effing barn rat. Doug was claiming he could pick winners as well by throwing a dart at the board. How will it turn out in 2024? Only time will tell, but it will be interesting. Back to you, Steve. That's from Buck Swope.
Nice
And that's what we have for the
email,
Design Air Heating and Cooling Mail today. Doug, go.
If you need me, I'll be by the smoking canister for American citizens only.
JV Golf Coach.
I like JV Golf Coach as well. JV Golf Coach.
Damn it,
You
Lucas.
won the Design Air Heating and Cooling email today. Jackson, I got to go get our asses wrapped. Switch on over to the YouTube channel at 101 ESPN. Bye.
The Tim McKernan Show podcast featuring